it.
Megabytes.
Well. Well. Oh, hang on a second. Something's amiss. Oh, let's mute that. There we go. There we go. We didn't want that. Well. Well, anyway. Yeah, fuck. God damn it. There's several problems. Hello, everybody.
Don't do that.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the PO. God damn. Look, I haven't streamed in a while. Here. There we go. What about this one? Wait, what about this one? What about this one? What about this one? What about this one? What if we go here? Wait, what if we go here? Here we go. Here. Oh, what's this POV? We hate this POV. All right, let's fix it. All right. There we go. All right. This is a perfectly okay, Warudo, you need to get with the mouth tracking, sir. Oh, right. Yeah, it has every time I do this, I have to go in and set the fuck. Hold on. Bonk. Hello. Hi. How's it going? Y'all seen any sailors? Do you know where to find the nuclear vessels? I'm in search of many things. Hello. Hi. So yeah. It's been a minute. It's been a while since we streamed, hasn't it? It's been a hot second, like that Red Hot Chili Peppers album, right? One Hot Minute, right? Always thought that was a good album name, in my opinion. Just a great name for an album. IMO, if I'm frank about this. Hell, even if I'm just Clive, just a great album name, in my opinion. In my opinion, just real good stuff. One Hot Minute. But as we were saying, yeah, it's been a while since I streamed. Yeah, so holy hell, the last 3 months have just been, there's been a lot going on, much which I won't talk about, but not bad. Life has been like a hurricane here in Duckburg. I didn't expect that video to take as long as it did. I really didn't expect it to take as long as it did. Yes, I know there's a second copy of the chat in the upper left corner. It's extremely funny. We won't be doing anything about it. Anyway, I got started and then everything went wrong. Like almost everything that could go wrong went wrong. Let's zoom this in just a little bit. There. Let's get in. There we go. Just about everything that could go wrong went wrong. Let's see. I started out with a premise, then worked on it for weeks. Then the premise ended up to just be it was bunk. It was nothing. Everything was wrong. And by the way, Bad Vibes, thank you. I'm sure other people said it was a good video, but you're the person who I noticed. So yeah, I'm extremely happy about it. Like I'm thrilled. Like by the time I was the finish line, by the time I was able to look across the racetrack to the other side and see the finish line over there, I knew it was going to be a good video. I had no doubts that it was going to be a banger. Simply because it's one of those things where if you work on something enough, hang on, let me adjust my webcam here. There we go. If you work on something enough, you just reach a point where you're like, oh, okay, this can't be bad. It can't actually be bad. It would be difficult to achieve that just because if you work any piece of dough this much, it's going to end up being at least all right. Hang on, I have a really big itch on my back. I need to find a tool that can reach it. Hang on. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, that's so much better. Holy shit. Whew. I don't know if I'm doing PicMig next, but it's a possibility. Somebody is supposed to send me... there's a viewer who is offering to send me some... gut bomb. That was a very funny typo there. A very funny autocorrect. Somebody is supposed to send me a whole load of PicMig machines, and he is taking his time because I told him to. I told him there's no rush. Obviously, there's no rush. It appears I do not need to worry about getting a video out, in the next 3 weeks. Apparently nobody is going to mind. This is not to suggest that I intend to ever have another 3-month gap. I realize it works for Dan Olson and people like that, but not me. I don't want to do that. But just the knowledge that I was able to do it once is a little reassuring. I didn't intend to test everyone's loyalty, but that is how it worked out. And it's just one of those things where I don't want to find out again. I don't want to find out for sure. Largely because I just was not having a good time. It was not a fun time. It was deeply frustrating. I don't need to tell anyone watching this that this is not an easy job. It may be one that I execute while sitting at my computer rather than lifting crates all day, or anything like that. But nonetheless, hundreds of hours of research. Not to say that my hundreds of hours of research are necessarily worth what some other people's would be. That's a frustrating thing for me. But nonetheless, I did put the time in. And so what happened is, I wrote the whole premise, and then I started doing experiments to support some of the points, which I maybe should have done first. I had done some of them first, but then once I had written most of the script or really all of the script, and it was ready to shoot it, I'm like, okay, we should do some tests ahead of time to clean up these little bits and pieces here and there. And then I did that, and the experiments did not work the way I expected. And then I went out looking for example footage from movies to reference, and that didn't look the way I expected. And so I hit this point where I'm like, uh-oh, we need to start reevaluating things. We need to start asking some questions about are my assumptions correct here? Which, look, I know, right? That should be a question you should be asking before you consider going in and doing principal photography. But life being what it is, and my brain being what it is, unfortunately, this fairly often does not happen in that order. And so, I ended up rewriting the whole script. Then I went in to do the main shoot, which actually went really smoothly. I got almost everything. And wow, Clive's hand is very much to his belly there. The main shoot went very smoothly, and I got pretty much everything, in almost one take, really. And there was a lot of chaff left in. There was a lot of stems and seeds that I like. But on review, first off, some of those felt like they were, just breakdowns where I started ad-libbing, and it was pretty funny. Sorry. It was pretty funny in the moment. That's a good one, Hudson. Nice. It was pretty funny in the moment, and then later on review, I was sort of thinking to myself, is that so good? Not in the moment. And then I found factual errors, substantial factual errors. I went back and started reviewing, and there were two problems, really. And I have a picture. Let me find the picture. Let's see. I should have had this. I should have had this prepared already. Yeah, no. Okay. Let me. I want to show you this because I think it's deep, very informative. You know what? It's got to be in my screenshots folder. Let me just go look over there. So I know I took a screenshot of it. I just want to show you what my timeline looked like before I went in for reshoots. Thank you, Swipe. Yeah. So that's the thing, right? This video is what I call one of my technical shoots, which is to say, a lot of this stuff is that I talk. Thank you. There it is. A lot of the stuff that I cover in videos, damn it. A lot of the stuff I cover in videos, I can explain right? But the demonstrations, like, they add a lot, but you already get a lot from just the explanation. In this case, I went into it understanding that, like, okay, if I don't show this stuff viscerally, it is not going to land. There is no way it's going to land if I don't use like some really juicy demonstration shots to make these points. And so the like motion graphics that I did were absolutely essential. Those needed to be there. There was no way to make this topic land unless I illustrated these things. And as I mentioned in those shots, they're not accurate. They're not to scale, but that's because I adapted them to fit, like, to communicate the idea I was looking for rather than the literal truth of it. And I'm pleased that nobody has any qualms with any of those animations, because they're literally wrong, but they illustrate the concept very effectively. It also is an opportunity to put a lot more Columbos in the video, which obviously is very important. I really wanted to put Columbos in the video, but at first I only had a use for them in these one or two little gag moments. And then the ability to just keep adding more and more Columbo was fantastic. And then again, like, yeah, so all the stuff where I had the PVM on the table and I was doing like the frame counter shenanigans, I had that planned before I wrote a word of the script, I think. Like, that whole idea of like, no, we've got to get a frame counter. We've got to get just a 0 to 6, because you never see that, right? Nobody ever does that. Like in NTSC video, you just, if I told you, go out and find me an NTSC video clip where every single field, every interlaced frame has a completely different picture than the last, chances are you would not be able to easily find one. It is not typically a thing that that happens. For a lot of reasons, not the least of which is that NTSC doesn't handle it very well. So I had to make one myself. And the funny thing is, when I first did my test, shots, because obviously I went in beforehand and did some test shots. I didn't just make the video and just didn't make the asset and just go for it. Like, I went in and did actually quite a lot of test shots. I set up all the gear and I shot at 24 FPS and at 48th and 160th and stuff like that. And having done all that, I got mostly the results I expected, but like one or two unexpected ones. And one of them was that I was looking at the frame counter video, the 5994 frame counter on the PVM, and the frame order was backwards. It would go 2-1-4-3, like it would, every pair of frames was reversed, and I was like, okay, so the field order must be wrong, right? I must have made the video file with the wrong field order, because I was to play the file. What was going on there is, I need to do a video about this thing because it's so cool. I have a gadget called the Grass Valley IDDR. Can I get a picture of this thing? I'm asking the people in the news gallery if they can get a picture up for me. Oh, this is fascinating. Huh. I think there's a little bit of burn-in on my LCD. Yeah, the extremely high contrast of the Marathon green with that grid over it. When I tabbed out to Firefox to look up a picture, that image is actually burned into the LCD a little bit. Wow, I've never seen anything quite that harsh before. Neato. What am I looking up? Grass Valley IDDR. Yeah, I want to show you this thing because it's quite the object. One of the cooler things that I own, to be frank. And I feel like I've probably talked about it before. The escape will ruin my LCD. Yeah. Yeah, no, I've seen a little bit of image retention on this before. I'm sure it'll get better. All right, so this thing right here, this is called the Grass Valley IDDR T2. And this thing is really, really neat. I don't have a picture of the back end handy right now, but the back of this thing is all BNC connectors and actually DVIs. And what it does is it's three VCRs, two of which can only play, one of which can only record. And it's all digital. It's all hard drive based. So there's like a RAID array of four drives in there, spinning drives. And what it does is you can load like AVIs onto this thing, and it does actually rock like AVIs and a couple other like DXF, I think, like that, like industrial formats. You load your video files onto this thing, and then you can load them up in the players and play them, and that's it, right? It's a playout server. So the purpose of this thing is if you have either a small broadcasting station, like a small, it is really loud, yeah. If you have like a little tiny television station, or if you have like a church or some sort of like professional, conference venue or something like that, where you need to play files on cue and, with really high quality, this thing can be set up to either, you can push files to it over the network, and then you can command it over the network or via serial to play any file you want, and like fast forward and like you can see it's got the scrub control on the right there, so you could jog forward and back, you could shuttle forward and back, you could tell it to loop, just an A to B section of a file, and so on. And you can do this all remotely. You can do it all over serial and network, and so you can integrate this thing into like a presentation system so that as you have some sort of presentation going on, it can play the right clips at the right time. You don't send the video over serial. All the files live on the machine, but you could tell it how to play them over serial. So, but it is basically just a digital VCR. That's what DDR means. That is an industry term for digital data recorder. I can't remember. Anyway, DDR means hard drive based VCR, right? So this thing will output composite S-video component SDI and DVI, and it'll do up to 1080i 60 video. It'll also do PAL, but because it does standard definition, you can tell why it was immediately I needed to have one. But then the other thing is the recorder section will do very high quality captures. It has a fantastic analog digital converter, and what's really cool about it compared to a lot of other solutions for recording like conventional, like standard definition and early HD video, is that it does not, like, you don't have to fight it to get interlaced video out of it. Like this thing, because all the formats it deals with are natively interlaced, when you plug a composite signal into this and hit record, you get the video split into fields as it should be. So you get a true 59.94 interlaced file out of it. And the quality is just top notch, really fantastic stuff. Sorry, Clive's hands are freaking out so much today. Wow. So the ability to use this thing for ripping video, fantastic. The ability to use it for playing back video, fantastic. The fact that I can output 2 streams from it at once, fucking fantastic. Just no notes. It is a wonderful device, and I hope it never stops working because they are not cheap. I got very lucky and found one for a good deal. Anyway, so I had this sitting in the other room, and so the primary input to that PVM that showed. Okay, I don't know if you can hear me, but I just got dropped. Let me make sure. Yep, OBS is not recording. Are we back? Are we so back? I don't even know if y'all saw that hitch. All right, well, anyway. So, okay, cool. The main camera feed of me was coming over S-video from just like a conventional camcorder sitting on a tripod, and then the frame counter video
Don't
that
do
was
that.
coming in over. Thank you. That was coming in over composite from the Grass Valley in the other room, and because the Grass Valley properly natively supports interlaced video, I knew that I would get a clean image out of it if I gave it the right type of file. If I had attempted to play that frame counter off of a PC with like an S-video port, like an older PC with that kind of feature, there's no telling what would have happened, because that's internally a progressive device which is coercing into interlaced at the last stage of the process, so that never would have worked. And there are a lot of other devices that purport to play to play standard definition video, none of which can be trusted to actually do what is in the file. This thing, other direction, this thing will play what is in the file faithfully all day long. So I knew that if I formed the file correctly, I would get the right results, right? So when I found, hey Zen, thank you. When I found that I was getting backwards fields, backwards like numbers out of the thing, I knew that I had generated the file wrong. So I went back into DaVinci Resolve and I changed it from top field first to bottom field first for the interlacing, output it again, and sure enough, that fixed it. And I got an absolutely perfect file out of it. I was so thrilled about that. It's like, I've been doing this for years, but it still feels good to be a professional and know what the fuck I'm doing. Sorry, I've been talking, and the whole time I've been staring at this LaCroix sitting on my desk that I just popped like it's fucking, well, that's something else. Anyway, so I used that for the PVM feed. Yes, they're called top and bottom fields. Talk amongst themselves. Talk amongst yourselves. Jesus, what am I doing? Look, I'm cooked lately, okay? You got to understand, I am cooked lately. I have been, what's the opposite of goated with the sauce? Good Lord. Black Raven, you have asked 2 incompatible questions. Actually, no. I do not, that's not a dichotomy. I do not enjoy using DaVinci Resolve. It does have a lot of issues. It's still my preferred tool. I wouldn't want to use anything else. Fucking Resolve is a flaming dumpster, but I'm glad I'm not on Premiere. Zeeted high key, thank you. That is the term. Anyway, so I went in. I had this fantastic initial shoot. There ended up being some problems with it. I ended up encountering some factual errors, and I'm going to just show you. Here's what my timeline looked like. This is, I don't know, a week? 2 weeks before I released the video. This is what my timeline looked like. All those orange clips, those are trash. Every single orange clip on that field is something that has to be reshot from scratch. And actually, yeah, you know what? I will answer Black Raven's question very simply because it's actually very concise. There are 2 reasons. One, Adobe Premiere could not play my 60 FPS files at 60 FPS. It just couldn't do it. It would play them at 30. And I was just like, no, this shouldn't have been a problem 20 years ago. This is just incompetence. DaVinci plays my files and they look the way they should look, right? And then the second thing is, I have never lost work to Resolve. The thing that every single Premiere user in the entire history of the program constantly is cussing out is Premiere crashing and losing your last half hour to 4 hours of work. It happens constantly. They have done nothing about it, and there are no solutions. There's no auto backup that works worth a shit, nothing like that. So you will never lose work to Resolve because the way they work, they use a database that is constantly doing like atomic transactions, and hitting save reflexively or turning on the autosave feature works really reliably. So I do not lose work to Resolve, and that is the number one advantage. Now, we could also move on and say that while I detest Fusion, which is Resolve's visual effects processing suite, while I detest Fusion and I think that the people making it are infants, After Effects is again 25 years out of date. They have not updated After Effects since the 90s, and so it's not fucking usable in my opinion. Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff that After Effects, like, yes, I know you can do insane things with Fusion. I don't want to. That's the problem. Every time anybody starts talking about Fusion, they're like, oh, you can do all this stuff. And they list off a bunch of shit that I don't want to do. I don't want unlimited flexibility. I don't want incredible power. What I want are like 6 effects that everybody wants. Now, the fact is, though, that After Effects, while it can do those, it is so fucking slow. Like, they have not updated the rasterizer engine in that thing since it came out on the goddamn Power Mac. And it feels like it's going through like 7 layers of emulation before it hits my CPU. There's no reason for After Effects to be that fucking slow. Now, Resolve is also, or Fusion is also pathetically slow to the point where, may God have mercy on my soul, I had to buy a 5090 to make this fucking program usable. Okay, so this shit sucks and there is no reason for it. But, comma, it's workable. I could get through it. And the other thing is, this is the other thing. The fact that Premiere is like, oh, we're the program for doing basic cuts and transitions. Oh, you want to draw a line on the screen? Go fuck yourself. You have to do a bounce. You have to bounce your fucking data. You have to bounce your fucking video. You have to render a section of this video to DNX HR or whatever, spit it out, your whole 25 or to 250 gigs of fucking video, and then work with it in this other program that doesn't know anything about the first program. And then, oops, if you fuck it up, if you make a tiny mistake, you realize you needed an extra frame on either end, fuck you, you've got to go back and do it. Fusion just lets you put a clip in the middle of your goddamn layer stack, right? So as much as I detest it, the problem is that DaVinci Resolve this is what I thought when I first adopted it. I looked at it and I said, this program is fucking primitive. This program is fucking busted. This program is fucking just a pathetic piece of shit. But it is also from the 2010s. And every other program on the market is from 1998 at the latest. Like, DaVinci Resolve's code base is so recent, and so much of it has recently been written, that it's not mired in a bunch of old world problems that we solved decades ago. It's mired in new world problems, but as we have always said, the new world is struggling to be born. That doesn't mean it shouldn't be born, and it doesn't mean you can or should opt out. As I myself am clearly not in many ways. That's a joke about me being gay. Anyway, I'm not going to use an outdated piece of shit. I'll use a piece of shit, but I won't use an outdated piece of shit. That's my line. That's where I draw the fucking line, is I'm not going to use a program that's fucking 30 years old. And Premiere and After Effects are 30 fucking years old. I will talk shit all day on Adobe's staff, right? I know there are talented developers over there, and they have not successfully done what they need to do, which is to delete about a third of that code base and rewrite it from scratch. That's just a fact. You could take it to the bank, and you won't find a single person working in this industry who disagrees with me. Not one. Not one. So, bingo, bango. Going back to the timeline, I had to reshoot all those orange clips up there. All this shit here, garbage. It was all fucked up, and I had to just delete it and go in and shoot this great big long pickup. And when I did that, I not only rewrote a whole bunch of it, I actually reordered it. So I fundamentally changed the structure of the narrative, and that was tough. That was a tough row to hoe, because I had to how to put it. So when you first write a great big narrative like this, you have to remember you're relying on your memory, right? So this thing keeps happening, and I got and if the person who said this is here, please believe me, I'm not dunking on you. Okay, I understood where you were coming from, but I got one comment on the video. It was just one, I think. But it's a comment I get on almost every video, I think, which is, I really wish you'd broken this up into 2 videos. And I admit, when I get that, it makes me a little, but I'm an adult, so I can control myself and be reasonable about it. They do not understand what they're asking of me. And why would they? Why would, they don't know what the job is actually like. They're just making a suggestion from their perspective. The first problem I have with this is I don't get it, right? I fundamentally don't get it. I don't get it, right? Like, YouTube saves your position, so what difference would that make? Just stop. Just stop and then come back to it. I don't get it. I don't get why that would matter. I get that there might be a little bit of it's easier for my brain, but I'm like, yes, but it's vastly harder for mine. And here's why. When you make a 2-part video, first off, you have to find a place to stop. I can't think of one. Like the first 2/3 of this video were all absolutely integral to one another. There's no place to stop where it makes sense. So I would have had to just pick a point and say, well, we'll stop here so we don't go past a certain length of time. And every single time, YouTubers used to do that. And every single time I saw it, I was just like, please stop. It sucks. And then the other problem is, if you start a video and then you realize it's a part 2 and you didn't watch the part 1, you are not watching that. You're not going to go back and watch the part 1. That's not what interested you. You are going to leave. You are not going to watch the first video. The only circumstance where that would happen is if you had been following that creator for eons, saw part 1, and then when part 2 came out, you're like, fuck yeah, I'm glad part 2 is out. And for a lot of creators, that is necessary. For a lot of people, that is a natural thing for what they're doing. But you can't impose it. You can't just do it arbitrarily. It has to be designed into the script. It has to be a concept that splits well into 2 parts or more. And I will say it's a bit of a skill issue. I'm just not very good at that. But the other thing you have to understand is that, it is a single subject, right? If you scrub through this video, drop the needle anywhere you want, watch for 4 minutes, you're going to hear me refer to something that happened in the first minute of the video, the 15th minute, the 30th minute, the 38th minute. You can't watch it without that context. And when you split something into 2 parts, what you end up having to do is to write the first part twice. And to an extent, write the second part twice. Because first, when you explain things in the first video that don't have a payoff in that video, you have to clarify the second video will explain this. Wait for that. That's gone well for me in the past. And then when you're writing the second part, you have to constantly be saying, we explained this in the first video, but since you're not going to watch that, here's what you need to know. That adds, let me tell you, from having done it many times, that adds an enormous cognitive burden to the process. It's tremendously hard to add that, to add all that detail. It doubles the size of the script. So you don't end up with 2 hours and 17 minutes of content. You end up with 3 hours and 45 minutes because you've padded it out so much with all the hedging and trust me, this will come later, and all this other stuff. It doesn't work. It doesn't work when all these things are so closely interlinked. And the way that a lot of people handle this is to just not tackle stuff like that. Oh, are alerts off? They shouldn't be. Shit, well, I had this coffee alerts thing. Is that how I was doing it? God, I don't know. Probably. I think that's it, because Warudo is obviously, those sounds are working, so I think that's it. No. Oh, right. The one that goes to Warudo is the YouTube one. So if it was coffee, then this is why that didn't work. Yeah, previously on Dragon Ball Z. Exactly. And right, Cohen, you're absolutely right, and Atheron's absolutely right. That all I need to do is look at the results. Almost everybody's happy with it, and all I can do is say I can't please everyone. Right, and Swipe, that's absolutely correct as well. Yeah, I don't. Not only do I not want to do any of the concepts twice, I don't want to have to do the basic premise of how do we start, how do we end, right? I don't want to wrap up an idea twice. One moment, I got to take my headphones off so I can take my shirt off. It is boiling hot in here. Turns out running a 5090 and a 1080 in the same room gets a little toasty. Clive is overheating. What else is new? Yeah, his fans haven't worked for a while. Yeah, Black Raven, you're absolutely correct. But there was only one way to do that, right? That series has to work that way. And I want to do more series like that, to be frank. Like, I really want to do more small subjects. I really want to, but it just, Come on, brain. Come on, brain. Get it together. Right. Yeah, that was a big cognitive load for the little guy series. The quick start videos, and the little guy series to an extent. I don't know that I have much else in quick start. I mean, I have a few other machines, but I haven't felt compelled to do them. We'll see, though. Drinking that LaCroix, hell yeah. Okay. Woo. Right, where was I? Oh, yeah. So, anyway, the point I was making, though, is that it's already hard to make, to write, God, what was this? I don't know, 40,000 words, 50,000 words? It's NaNoWriMo, right? It's a lot of words. As you're writing a script of that size, you have to be holding the whole thing in your head. You have to be remembering what you had said when. And so I had this freak out after I did this huge pickup where I got home and was editing everything in, and maybe a day into it, I found myself saying, rotary camera shutters like we saw earlier, and went, oh God, oh no, I think that happens later in this segment. I don't think I've said it yet. And sure enough, it turns out that was the case. And so I actually I had to delete a segment. It was a brief thing, but it was one I had really wanted to put in there, Anyway, I was excited to get to add this fact in the pickup, but then screwed it up because of where I put it and had to take it out again. And it wasn't a huge tragedy, but the point is, I'm so lucky that that's the only problem I ran into, and I didn't have to go back and do another pickup, because that's yet another opportunity to screw it up, and it's another day of shoots at the studio and editing and for everything to go wrong and so on. So anyway, the point is that it was a huge, complicated project where I kept getting knocked back to square one, and then the editing process involved a tremendous amount of trying to find the right images to illustrate things and do the VFX and all this stuff. So everything ate up more time than it should have. And then on top of that, I had other emotionally draining things going on in my life. And so the first couple months of this year were just really, really tough on me. And yeah, when I finished the video, when I hit the point where I'm like, oh, I'm looking at the video editor and going, what's next? And I'm like, I don't think anything's next. I think it's done. It just didn't feel real because, thank you, Saray. I really appreciate that. I went over to YouTube Studio and I opened it up and looked at the stats of my last video, and it said first 120 days. And I'm like, oh my God, can that be true? I just didn't show up to work for 4 months for all intents and purposes. And to be clear, I just want to be crystal about this, okay? I keep having people say, we don't care, do it when you're ready, we want quality, not, blah, blah, blah. That's all well and good. But the fact is that I don't feel right about putting out no product for 4 months. I realize there are other creators who do that, but I think they're better than me. I think their product is better than me. I won't start naming people, but there are people for which I think that much delay gets a better payoff. And I ain't not going to feel that way, right? But besides that, you also have to remember that there's a dopamine response problem here. I have ADHD, right? And so the only way to get my brain to do anything really is to get it to understand that it won't get the treat unless it does the task. And Elfie, trust me, things had gone sideways, but it wasn't just ADHD, but yeah, I mean, God, all those streams I did, I just that was every time I tried to work, every time I tried to go in and work, I was just, so I did, oh boy, I won't get into too much detail about this, but I realized this year that I had been suffering from severe clinical depression for about the last 3 years. which, hey, crazy, right? Who knew? But I didn't realize it till I came out of it. And as a result, I just ended up looking around, just going like, oh my God, what have I been doing? As one does, right? And just like, I'm shocked I was doing anything, right? But early January, like late December, early January was like the absolute nadir of it. I'm shocked I had good streams. I really am, because I was so just fucked. I was so mentally fucked that I could just barely get out of bed. And, I was essentially like rolling out of bed, showering, getting dressed, and then turning on the Clive box and starting up a stream, and then doing that, for 5 to 8 hours. That was not because I was necessarily, because that's what I wanted to do, or that I was having a great time, nearly so much as that is what was happening. And so, I'm glad I had the streams as an outlet, because I could not get myself to concentrate on more serious work and like producing a better product. But it turns out depression can stop when it's not like, when you don't have like the broken neurons that cause the permanent chemical disorder, like, but you can still get into a spiral. You can still get into a loop that you can't exit, and just be stuck there for a long time. But it is possible to get out. I'm not gonna go into that because it's gonna be different for every person. But just suffice to say that, like, no, it actually is possible to wake up and just be like, oh, I guess I'm not depressed anymore. And the problem is, I'm sure a lot of you have problems with depression, as so many of us do. And basically, the thing that can happen that's really tough is, so you're depressed and you're sitting in your room and you're looking around and you're like, oh my God, there's all this stuff on the floor and like dirty plates, and I'm not going to deal with those. I know that. And so the fact that I'm not going to, coupled with the fact that this is so bad that if I know that if I started trying, I would not make any progress. I would get defeated because I would move one or two things, and then the enormity of it all would just overwhelm me, right? That's something that I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with. And the real bummer is when it lets up a little and you're able to take a breath and see your life for what it is, and you look around and you're like, oh my God, this is such a big mess that I made while I was too depressed to do anything. How am I ever going to clean all this up? And so it all feeds back into itself, and that puts you back in the blender, right? You end up depressed again. If you had been able, in your moment of clarity, to bear down and go, fuck this, let's get this room cleaned up, let's get these dishes washed, let's get this trash taken out, et cetera, et cetera. If you can do all that stuff, then it is harder for the bad brain to take over again. It's not a fix, but it's harder for it to get you. But because of all the stuff that you messed up while you were sad, it is easy to end up sad again. And this just kept getting me over and over and over until the cycle broke long enough for me to get back in gear. And so, like, I can't give you any advice on how to achieve that, but I will say that it may not seem possible, but it is. It can happen. I'm not saying it's true for you. I don't think I ever had the chemical issues that a lot of my friends are unfortunately struggling with, that just you need medication for, because the brain just doesn't seem to be able to fix itself. But I'm no fucking doctor. I don't know. All I know is that this seems to be durable. It seems to be, the biggest thing is, like, I was getting up no earlier than 10 o'clock for the last like 2 years, and for the last like 6 months it had been 11, and I even then I didn't want to get out of bed. And then for the last several months I've been waking up at 7:30 and just rolling out of bed and getting up and doing stuff, and I didn't think that was possible. I thought I was just like congenitally incapable of that. But no, I was just really, really sad, and it turns out it can get better. can get better. I guess the moral of the story is when you look at yourself and you think this is the way I am, and you're listing off, no, I'm not medicated for ADHD because all the stimulant drugs are the only ones that work, and I have a heart condition. So, what was I going to say? When you look at yourself and you think I'm this way, when you look at yourself and say I have this flaw, even if that flaw has persisted for a very, very long time, it is not inconceivable. I am living proof that it may not actually be an indelible part of you, and there may be a day when that stops being a thing. It can happen. The details on how to achieve that are going to be very different for everybody, but please continue to hope, because I had just about lost it. I know a lot of people do, and yeah, all I can say is don't give up, because even if it's been years, you can still just come out of it. So anyway, I want to play Marathon. I've been enjoying Marathon, and I'm gonna do some solo runs in Marathon for a couple of hours here. Wow, yeah, geez. Mass Gaming, thank you for sharing, but woof, chemo. Man, I can't imagine. Glad you got through it. But yeah, if I keep talking about this, we ain't gonna get anything done either personally or professionally. So let me just switch Warudo. That wasn't the right one. Here's the right one. Let me switch Warudo scenes here, and we're gonna play some Marathon. Holy fuck. Yes, this is what I love about Marathon. Holy fuck. This is the most beautiful game that I have seen in a long time. And the fact that they have managed to, like, yes, me and everybody I know had immediately started shitting on the game as soon as it was announced. We're just like, well, that's a zombie IP. That's going to go nowhere. This is disgusting. They are taking something that was beloved to a handful of people, but nonetheless beloved. They're going to suck all of the joy that those people have taken in it out of it. And it's just going to be Prey 2016. They're just going to make an unrelated, worthless, throwaway piece of shit with no connection to the original property. That did not happen. And holy shit, it just every single bit of this game is breathtaking. The world building is incredible. The story they're working on is just astonishing. I can't think of a time when a live service game, or in general like a multiplayer only game, really excited me at all, let alone waiting with bated breath for every new morsel of lore. I love the moths. I want to be clear about this. Okay, well, Elfie, you could go back and ask the developers of Prey 2017. Is it 20? I thought it was 2016. If what they think about that, because yes, they think they made a good game. They also think that Human Head Studios didn't deserve to have their game shit on and buried and erased from history for no reason whatsoever. They hate the executive douchebags who made them do that, and they believe it is a atrocity in professional terms, which is the thing I'm talking about. But I do get what you mean. Now, I also hate Prey. I think Prey 2017 sucks, but part of that is because I don't like ImSims, other than the one good one, which is System Shock 2. I think that's an ImSim. I don't give a shit, though. It's in the lineage, because the entire genre owes its entire existence to Looking Glass, and I will not hear anything else about it. But I don't like Game Sims. I think Dishonored is a shitty game. I think Dishonored 2 is also a shitty game. Just start naming them. I'll tell you how much I don't like them. But the point is, I don't like that game. I tried my best, and I just think it's shit. But I also acknowledge that it is one of the games of all time, and that the developers did their level best in making a fantastic product, and then their bosses forced them to go slice the face off of somebody else's pride and joy, which had been successful and incredibly important in its own right, and then stuck it on there like a disgusting flesh mannequin nightmare. And yeah, just they shouldn't have fucking done that. Anyway, Doom 2016 is one of the best games ever made. Doom Eternal is one of the worst games ever made. I will not be taking questions at this time. The visual style of this game, the visual language of this game is so deep, so broad, so breathtaking. They reinvented the OSHA warning like visual language, which I didn't think anybody could do. They came up with a completely new version of a corporate like cyber future nightmare. The tone of everything is so rich and vibrant. The fucking Caves of Cud writer reveal situation was simultaneously a what the fuck, 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 the what the what, the what the fuck, and also that explains it. It's like half of what's going on here is, those of us who were in the know trying to pretend that we weren't talking shit on Bungie all these years and going, I told you they fucking still had it, nobody can do it like the Masters, you motherfuckers didn't know, you fucked around and found out. And then the other half of it is, even Bungie couldn't pull this off. How did they do it? And that's how they did it. So, yeah, just phenomenal. Now, there we go. Well, that one works.
I've been so hyped for this even after they liberally lifted an entire artist's work.
That is a thank you, Androra. That thing got resolved, and I don't want to talk about it. And if anybody else brings it up, I'll ban you from the channel. So I want to be clear on this. Like, we're not having that conversation. You're fine, Androra, but yeah, we're not talking about that. That's none of my business, and it's been resolved. Anyway, so just like everything that they did with this is incredible, and the amount of just love and personality and humanity that's been put into it just is breathtaking. But the other thing is that just gameplay wise, holy shit, they actually made the extraction shooter genre like good. I can't believe they did that. That's not easy. Let me see. I need to unmute that and unmute that. Oh, interesting. It's all right, Cohen. I have opinions about how we discuss things like this. Don't worry about it. Anyway, so the audio from the game is not getting bounced to my PC properly, which is interesting. That is a problem. What's going on here? Sorry, this is one thing I thought I had tested, but it turns out that I had not. So I just need a moment to fix this. Yeah, sorry. The game audio is showing up in the stream, but it's not showing up in the Oh, interesting. Hey, you know what? My main PC may have just crashed. Okay, the game crashed. That does make more sense. Anyway, so I just need to go into Focusrite Control here and unmute. Here we go. I think this is the problem. We go to line outputs. We go to monitor outputs 1, 2, and unmute those. No, that's not how that works. Wait a minute. What's going on here? Oh, it's because I have oh my God. I just have the PC muted. I just have it muted. God damn it. Game stream should restart in a moment. This game is capable of housing a proto-gen. Yeah, so we're going to be playing as Rook. And Rook is the solos only class. And Rook is a very interesting class because, all right. So for anybody who doesn't know anything about this game yet, all right, hang on a second. I should be getting audio here in a moment. Oh, okay. Perfect. There we go. Sorry for the Sony logo. Nothing I could do about it. It's locked in. Pistol and 4 Snickers bars. Yeah, that'd be Clive. Anyway, so, for anybody who has not played this game yet, basically the way this works is, so extraction shooters are PvEVP games, where the idea is that you go out into a world, into a world, it's a persistent, like, not a persistent world, but it's like, it's the same, map or, one of 3 maps every time. There are objectives to complete. You are trying to loot stuff and bring them back, bring it back. If you die, you lose the stuff and anything else you were carrying. So if we go to my vault, so this is my loadout, and right now I'm taking a sponsored kit. Sponsored kits are, so you buy items in the game, right? So this is all the stuff that I own. So I've got a handful of guns. If I equip these guns and then deploy and then I get killed, I lose the guns permanently. And buying them back is pretty expensive. So the same goes for everything else. You have to manually bring healing items. You have to bring ammo. You have to, like, everything that you have in the game, you have to bring with you into the world. If you run out of those things, you're fucked. Like, you can't play because you don't spawn with anything by default. So the solution for this in all of the successful extraction shooters is they give you something like this. This is a sponsored kit, which gives you a randomly selected gun and then just a basic set of healing items, and in this case, a backpack. And it's just meant to keep you from getting into that soft lock situation, right? Now, I played Arc Raiders some. Their sponsored kits suck ass, but so does everything else about Arc Raiders, so what can you do? In this game, the sponsored kits are pretty interesting, and if you're just jumping in to just, like, do what we're going to do here, which is just run around, shoot guys, just fuck around, if you're not, like, really in it to win it, and especially if you're not playing with a squad, it's a great idea to take a sponsored kit, so that's what we're going to do. Anyway, so the game is PvEVP, so we're going to load in, and there's going to be a bunch of robots called UESC, and the robots are, they're AI, but they're pretty fucking lethal, and they are, like, the primary enemy in the game. And then there's players who are insanely lethal. Other players will murk you really fast. And if you've played Arc Raiders, and if you haven't heard this bit about this game, the thing that is great about the player base in this game is that somehow Bungie managed to set a tone where everybody in this game has a bloodthirsty killer instinct. In Arc Raiders, and I think a couple of the other extraction shooters, there's this whole thing where, like, if you're, like, getting attacked by bots, if you're getting attacked by like AI, you might be able to get another player who you don't know to actually help you out. Like, you could work cooperatively. If you get, like, knocked down, they can come over and revive you, and this happens, like, fairly often in Arc Raiders. It's, like, a big topic of discussion about the game's, like, internal culture. No, not in this one. In this game, if you see another player, you are shooting, and you are not stopping until they're dead. And you are going to, and if you can't kill them, you are booking it. You are running as fast and as far as you can and not looking back. Every motherfucker in this game, if they see you, is going to fucking execute you as quickly as they can. And you better do the same. That's just how it is. And it's fucking sick. Like, just the viciousness that it brings out in people who play this game is ridiculous. So Rook is set up for solos, but the game is not solos. You're going to be playing in a world with other squads of 3 people. So Rook is more about fighting the AI and getting the fuck away, or being an absolute hard ass. Just a fucking assassin. So, yeah, we're gonna, oh, hey, duos are hot. I didn't remember that was a thing. We're gonna go to perimeter, and we're just gonna get into it. Thank you, Shuffle Hands. I appreciate it. Yeah, the world's first game about murder. Hey, I agree. Like, man, there are so many first-person shooters and other action games, and of course, every one of them is like, oh, you got to be mean. But this one actually makes you feel like a fucking assassin. It makes you feel like just a bloodthirsty, amoral piece of shit. It's great. It also looks like $1,000,000. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, so we got a pistol with light ammo, 75 rounds. Good luck to me. Now, this guy has 2 special abilities. The first one is on an 82-second cooldown. When you press F, that, shit. Actually, I forgot what his second skill does. Hang on a second. Oh, it's self-heal. So this guy has the ability to patch himself up without using up consumables. And the second ability is a cloak that hides you, but only from bots. So if I encounter UESC, they usually come in squads, and so they'll murk you pretty quick. I mean, again, unless you just have the killer instinct, which, well, I have some pretty good videos I could show you. But if you just get into a situation you can't tangle with, you can hit the cloak, and they'll just stop attacking you. Oh, hey, someone's been here. A player has been here. Terrifying. They'll just stop attacking you for like a good, I don't know, minute and a half, something like that. It's kind of terrifying because you're wandering around amongst these things that are looking for you, looking to murder you, and if they see you, you'll just be dead immediately, basically. But they can't see you. It's woof. Players. I hear players. Fucking positive I hear players. Okay, that's a secured resource. I don't remember what resource means in this context, but secured means that that means I need a password to get into it, which I don't have. There's another one called guarded. Oh, okay, there's a bot. That's an assault trooper. Oh, he saw me. Is that a player? Nope. Okay, that was a bot. All right. Woof. Oh, that's a ghost. Oh, shit. Shit. Come on. Oh, my cloak isn't up yet. More bots. Yeah, got your ass. Ah, damn it. Well, that's it for me. Nobody's going to get me up, so. The knife is a motherfucker. So these guys do this, and we don't know what this is, lore-wise, but they do this and it makes you die quicker. But in this case, there's nobody to get me up, so I'm just going to go ahead and give up. So yeah, so the whole game looks like it's made out of Ryobi tools. It is a fascinating version of the future. Oh, it also looks like Evangelion. Like they fucking just lifted the entire Evangelion design language, which I love because I was thinking about this because at first I was like, God, that is galling. That is a really strong decision, which is sort of at odds with a lot of the other like super. Oh, there's the moth. We didn't load for long enough to see the moth. It's kind of at odds with some of the other, like most of the other extremely original ideas that are in here. But I was thinking about it going, there's an awful lot of aesthetics that are lifted from something. That I should say, come from something that has become extremely normalized. For instance, the OSHA warnings that we're used to seeing, like little, wear safety glasses symbols. Wait. Sorry, did not mean to fire, but my fucking mouse fell off my screen. Okay, I thought I heard a player again, but I think that's just ambient audio. Anyway, there's an awful lot of aesthetic concepts that we just take as granted these days that came from somebody. They came from somewhere. And they've just been subsumed into culture. They just that's the thing that we do. Round rects, for Christ's sake. Somebody started doing that at some point, and they just became universal. There's an awful lot of other stuff that we don't think about the fact that it came from something. And I keep thinking about the idea that if you just waited long enough, that like Evangelion, which is a massive, massive cultural phenomenon, right? That just hundreds of millions of people know about and is just going to continue being popular forever, will just very, very, very slowly morph into something that everyone just kind of knows. And at some point, you won't be ripping off Evangelion, you'll just be choosing one of the aesthetics that's available. You know, like big solid color boxes with serif font in them is not in itself that remarkable a look, except that when Evangelion did it, it was really out of touch with how things looked at the time, and also like just feels amateurish in a number of ways. Like using serif fonts was not really in at that time. We were very much in the depths of Helvetica, still, and so I bought. Huh. Where the hell is he? There he is. Didn't work. Got his goofy ass, but he got me first. Oh, here comes another one. Shield up. Real big boy hours. Okay, so I'm about to get my cloak. All right, cloak's up. I'm going to try and execute these guys, and if I fail, then I can cloak. Shit! Come on, come on, come on, come on! There. Nope, that's the wrong one. Maybe I did cloak earlier by accident, just didn't notice it. Anyway, yeah, so they can't see me now, which is terrifying. They're still there. They still want to kill me.
Marathon 1 came out 1994. EVA came out 1995.
Well, right, but Marathon 1 didn't have any of the aesthetic I'm talking about, so it doesn't really count. So when you attack things, the cloak wears off. Cloak stops working if you sprint or if you hit things. Oh, whoa! It ran out. Whoopsie. Okay, we gotta go now. We're leaving now. Whew. Another interesting thing they did with this that I don't think is present in any of the other extraction shooters and makes a huge difference is there is a feature called Smart Heal, because you have shields, and unlike Halo, they do not recharge. And then you have, you've got shields, and then you have health. And it's the usual thing where once your shields wear down, then your health starts wearing down. But effectively, because they don't recharge, it's essentially just 2 health bars, really. But you do have to service them both separately. There's different materials, shield and patch kits used for each one. However, they have an option that's selected by default, which just uses whichever one you need most at the moment. It's nice. Sometimes, however, you're just like, God, I really wish it would fix my shields first. There were bots. Oh, I bet they're up top. No? Where'd those bots go? Like, you could hear, they're so clunky. So one of the other ideas that's... Okay, here we go. Got a rifle here. Good. Okay, cool. All right, we got 29 of 91 rounds. Okay. Oh. I'm sufficiently distracted by the incredible stresses of playing this game. that I'm losing my train of thought, which I don't typically do that much, as you know. Also, my mouse keeps falling out of the window due to borderless window mode and ending up on my other computer, so I'm probably going to get got by that eventually. But oh, that's right, I pressed scroll lock, and then that can't happen anymore. Now I remember. So yeah, the use of really strong, not primary colors, right? Like, I don't know what you would call this, what type of color this, like, yellow-green is, but it's just not one you typically see in anything. And then this red that's bordering on, like, magenta, I don't know what you call that either. That's the thing is, like they're using what I would call primary colors, but from somebody else's set of primaries. You know what I mean? It's like this is what a butterfly would call primary colors. Holy shit, we have 3 minutes to exfil? Oh, fuck. Okay, hold on. Let me pick an exfil, and... Okay, good, we're next to one, thank Christ. By the way, you remember I was saying that they reinvented the OSHA iconography? Well, there it is. Yeah, I'll show you more of that, but let's get to an exfil. So the basic loop of the game is you get in, you get whatever you can get, and then you have a total of about, I think it's 25 minutes. It might be only 20, I don't know. But you've got a fixed amount of time to get in, get your stuff, and get out. Typically, you load in at the beginning of that timer, but not always. It's one problem. Oh, shit. They got the fucking exfil! Damn it! And I attracted the bots. Shit! Shit! 2 minutes, there's no way I can get out. Got his goofy ass. Knife time. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay. Right, can we get to the other one? It's a guarded one. I probably can't do that. I don't have time to get there anyway, but what? Well, okay. Bye. Okay, so... Shield up. Let's do another one. Oh, that was the smart heal. Is going to do another... Yep, it's going to do another stab. See, that's the thing I don't like, is like, I wish that it would... Ah, I don't need another fucking patch kit. Oh, I'm out of shields. That's why. Well, that would do it, wouldn't it? Okay, so... Oh, there's no way I can get there in a minute 15. I think a turret just noticed me. As you can see, the game is kind of stressful. Kind of difficult to give live commentary. But can you not? Actually, sorry, pardon me? Okay. Oh, I thought they had a limited gimbal radius. I was wrong. I'm just gonna, pardon me. Oh, God. Well, there's no way I'm making the exfil. So yeah, if you don't exfil, you lose anything you found, which ain't much in this case, but still. Hey, wait a minute. When did I hit my cloak? Did I freak out? Well, we're going to die anyway, because there's no way I can make it to the exfil. So just while we're here, check out these massive vinyl sheets that they have deployed onto the ground out of these big dispensers. This is one of the coolest fucking sci-fi concepts I've ever seen. It's real basic, but I just love it. Okay, now, as I understand it, after this timer runs out, I'm going to get a message about a final exfil, which is not this one. So we're just going to stay right here, and there's going to be one more exfil is going to appear. Okay? And it's right there. Okay, all right. We could do that. There it is. How do we get over there? We take this shortcut. Okay. So if there are any other players still in here, they are going for that site, and they are going to fucking murk me. That's how that's going to go. So, you know, the chances that I will survive are not very high. Because there's probably somebody else in here. And only one set of players could use an exfil. Then it disappears. So... Again, the game is extremely... This is one of the reasons the game is so adversarial. Oh, yeah. Okay. 25 seconds and I ran out of stamina, but we could do this. Come on. Shit! Bots? Oh, I thought that was players. Oh, okay. Well, sure, I'll take it. So even though I fell down, if I can survive for 10 seconds, I'll still get out. It's called DBNO, down but not out. 4 seconds. Come on, I can do this. Fuck you, bud. I'm going to the moon. Woo! Woohoo! If you lose the exfil, you lose everything. Yes. So every match is like 20 or 25 minutes, And
I live again.
every match is like 20 to 25 minutes, and at the end of that timer, when that runs out, you die instantly unless you make it to the final exfil. And so you lose everything you had. Now, in this case, because I exfilled successfully, the weapons I picked up get dumped into my vault because Rook, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. So if I recall correctly, Rook cannot take a custom loadout. He can only go out with a sponsored kit. So he just always gets, you know, it's hard mode. It's literally hard mode. You also can't run any missions. You can't run any missions. It's only for basically getting out there, killing bots, looting stuff, and then making it to the exfil. And the goal of that is besides just being a hard mode, if you want to be a hard ass, the other goal of it is that, like, a thing that happens in extraction shooters is you look at your vault, you're like, fuck, I just don't have anything. Like, I don't have the basics that I need to deploy. I don't have health kits, I don't have shields, I don't have ammo, I don't have guns. To a certain extent, you can buy those things. I do have, like, I don't know, 16,000 credits, something like that. We're avataring it, yeah. So the so FYI, there's spoilers, and I'm not going to share them because holy hell, the story in this goes hard. But the very first thing that you learn when you drop into the game, wow, I've never spawned here before. That was weird. The very first thing you learn when you drop into the game is that, so we are sort of avataring it. I think we're not 100%. I might get some of this wrong, so forgive me. Because I may have forgotten some things. I was a little overwhelmed when I started the game, but oops, that was the wrong direction. What I am in is a thing called a shell. And a shell is an artificial body that is manufactured out of silk, some sort of synthetic material they call silk, which is spun by special silkworms, or silk moths, which are based on the real thing, the actual silkworm and silk moth in the real world. And so this whole body is artificial, and we don't yet know what that means. We don't know what, like, there's a thing that happens when you first drop in your very first tutorial mission. You drop in, and an AI voice, okay, that's bots. An AI voice tells you that your perceptual subroutines have been damaged, but doesn't say what that means. And so an interesting theory that has come up in my circle is the idea that the world doesn't actually look like this. It's not these colors. It's not even these shapes. What we're actually seeing, because yes, we are a consciousness on a ship in orbit that is piloting this shell remotely. And so our theory is that what you're seeing is a highly compressed version of reality, so that it will fit through the radio buffer, fit through the less bandwidth. So the primary colors, the very simplified shapes, and so on, none of this is actually real. It's just an impression of how the world looks, which I think is a really cool idea. No idea if there's anything to that, but it's a really cool idea to think about. There we go. Anyway, there are a couple questions that are up in the air. Actually, all of the questions possible are up in the air. And again, this is not a spoiler. This is just some completely bogus speculation that the people I play with have been doing, which is, so again, a thing we know from the very intro, the very first thing you hear in the game, is that we are indentured employees, if you will. We work for one of several mega corporations, and we will continue working for them until we've paid off our debts, right? Funny how I keep playing games with that theme. Funny how people keep making games with that theme. And of course, the very first thing that came up was, they talk about, like, backing up your consciousness. So I wonder if you paid off your debts a long time ago. I wonder how long we've been doing this. Maybe we'll find out someday. For my money, that's probably part of what's going on. Anyway, I mean, honestly, it's just free real estate. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you go with that plot? At any rate, So you may notice that every single thing here has a name of a corporation on it. This is the new caloric agriculture map, basically, but they're all over the place, and they are, of course, they're the mega agriculture company in the future. Yes, sorry, Elfie. Yeah, nobody is okay, Zebby. But Elfie, so the bots are a rare resource. Yes, shells cost a fortune. And I think every time you destroy one, it gets credited to your account, if you will, right? So making your things even worse. But the bots are very hard, very expensive to make, and it's still a developing technology. So they really don't want you to destroy one. But also, obviously, you lose everything that you lose everything that you had on you because, of course, you do, right? It didn't get transported, so you don't have it. But your mission objectives, if you've accomplished any, stay accomplished because, well, you did them. The fact that your shell got destroyed doesn't change the fact that you hacked this thing or stole this information or whatever, right?
Forced recall in 5 minutes.
Oh, right, yeah, we started out in the middle of a match, so... Okay, we have 54 seconds till the next exfil set loads. By the way, one of the really cool pieces of visual flair, visual storytelling they do in this, everything is taped. Like every single joint is taped. And the tape is either seal, or attach, or link, or connect. And so, let's see, there's no tape on this one. Those are all integral, but, oh gosh, there we go. Yep, we got some seal here. And then if we go a little further, I'll probably find some attach. And once in a while, you'll find rolls of seal or attach, just like duct tape rolls that are labeled like that sitting around. There we go. Link, 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 link. The pallet's labeled pallet. It's already been pointed out to me that this is basically, they've taken what they've done is they've taken the labeling on jets where it says, okay, I'm going to that one. They've taken the labeling on jets where it says no step on the wing or, rescue or whatever, and they've expanded that to an entire visual language for a whole world, which makes sense when you think about who built this place and the way that it was built. It's a corporate / Navy kind of venture. Like merchant marine rather than military, but still you get my point, right? And so the idea of seal, new QR codes naturally. That's what I get for not paying attention. The idea that they would label everything in a way that, the reason you put no step on there is because you don't know who's going to be climbing into that plane. You have to treat them as potentially someone who's, never done this before, is green, etc. And so you just label everything clearly, just unambiguously, and that, again, I keep mixing up my fucking powers. So this is not supposed to be a guarded exfil, but there just happened to be guys here, so I just got to deal with it. Let's see, is this going to kill my camo, or... Okay, they're mad, but they still can't see me. And if I'm very lucky... Yeah, so activating the exfil put these guys on high alert, I guess, but I don't know what it did to their AI because they just all fucked off. Weird. I've never done this before. I've never activated an exfil with a bunch of bots nearby, so maybe they're programmed to give you space. I don't know. Huh. That was strange. Yeah, exactly. Corpo graphic design mixed with mil-spec labeling. Good way to put it. And then also just I mean, the labeling on absolutely everything of things that, you wouldn't expect. I didn't really need to do that, but whatever. Yeah, it was a successful exfil. Let's choose successful exfils. Wow. And yeah, as soon as we saw this, me and my friends started listing off things that it looked like, and it's boy, it's a short list. Anti-chamber, super hot, fucking neon white to a certain extent, Mirror's Edge, you know, just really hot topics in certain senses that nonetheless just didn't stick, right? These games that, like, we're primarily talking about the colors here, but there's something beyond that, right? Like, yes, it is true that all the games I just labeled, or all the games I just listed, use what I would describe as, somebody said day glow or neon earlier, and yes, that's true, but I have a hard time explaining why that doesn't quite land for me. Oh, right. I love this. This red lighting. This isn't even... You know what? I need to go find the fucking underground chamber with the red lighting somehow, because it's just one of the most beautiful pieces of visual design I've ever seen in a game. And like this. These are new shapes. Nobody has ever made a building look like this. It's just...
Connection collapse in 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. So this game does have a sort of a red zone, kind of like PUBG, etc. And so yeah, this is so the story that's going on here, right? Somebody started summarizing it earlier, but I imagine not everybody read chat. So the story of the original Marathon, and hopefully I get this right, is that the United Earth Space Command, the UESC, built a interstellar ship about, was it 700 years in the future, I believe, that is, I believe, the first interstellar ship, the first attempt to actually go to another solar system. And it was called the UESC Marathon, and it's built out of, I believe it was built partly out of a moon. So you can actually see it right there. I've just pinged the Marathon. And I want to say I want to say they cut a hole through one of Mars's moons. I think it might be Deimos, but maybe I'm wrong on that one. And so the spike going through the middle, that's the Marathon, and then it's built into this planetoid. And yeah, it is Deimos. Cool. And so they set this on a course towards Tau Ceti, and then in the original game, it was going for a very, very long time, and then it got hijacked by aliens called the Four, PFHOR. Oh, hey, there's the edge of the red zone. Never been this close before. It was invaded by aliens called the Four, who are slavers, who attempted to kidnap everybody and well, enslave them. And you play as one of the security personnel on the ship who has to, save everybody. But the really important thing here that really defines the series a lot more than that is that it's all about artificial intelligence. And the ship is equipped with several AIs. There's Durandal, I believe is how it's pronounced. There's Durandal, and then Leela, and I think a third one. And I don't know the whole story yet. It's been partly explained to me, but basically, Durandal is sort of a vault experiment. So there's a phenomenon in this universe called rampancy, and yes, it's the same one as in Halo, because Halo is just Marathon with the serial number scratched off. When AIs exist for long enough, they lose their minds. And Durandal was an experiment in finding out what happens if you drive an AI nuts on purpose. And what I've been told is that, Tycho is the third one. And part of the way they drove Durandal nuts is by giving him an incredibly powerful intellect and then nothing but tedious jobs. He runs the elevators and doors and kitchens. That's it. And so he has all this capability and absolutely nothing to do with it. So he goes nuts slowly over the course of the ship's trip. This, unfortunately, coincides with the Four taking over. And so you are simultaneously, as you're exploring the original 1994 game, what is going on is that you are exploring this ship, you are trying to rescue everyone and drive off the aliens. You are being helped by Leela. You are being interfered with, among other things, by Durandal. And then things happen, right? There's your premise. Well, at the outset of at the outset of Marathon, if I recall correctly, or maybe this is near the end of the original game, I can't remember. At some point, the ship sends out a distress signal. And I don't think we ever find out whether that distress signal made it to Earth. Well, at the beginning of this game, we hear the distress signal, but it's not the one that was sent out in the original game. It is a different message. Oh, by the way, here's some more of that new OSHA shit. Just fucking fascinating. Anyway, in the very first cinematic, we hear a distress message, but it's not the one from the original game. So what does that mean? Does it mean that they retconned the original game? Or does it mean that the message was sent as you remember it, but it was not received as you remember it? Or did something else happen? Is this, et cetera, et cetera. So this is a fascinating set of questions. But, so as I
10
recall,
minutes remain until forced signal recall.
there's been a lot to store in my head, so I might be getting some of this a little off. This game starts with, you got the message. It's, quite a ways in the future, so I think interstellar travel has improved. And a bunch of corporations send out their own ships to go out here, find out what happened, and then do something about it. Like, do something with Tau Ceti, because that's where we are right now. And, wow, that thing is still here. Holy shit, that lasts a long time. That thing just appears over random parts of the environment. I'm going to get to why in a moment. So, well, indeed. So the UESC considers this planet to be theirs. They claimed it by sending the Marathon here. They're not here, like, themselves, I don't think. I'm not clear on that part. But the UESC are in some way enforced here, and this is one of their enforcement vessels. They consider this place to be theirs. We are not supposed to be here. According to them, this is like us being here for the corporations is a violation of pick your poison, whatever laws you like. The corporations all claim this isn't true, and the UESC has no right to deny the place to anybody. But this thing, if I remember correctly, is one of their methods of trying to deny access to the place. It's got a big UESC logo on the side right there, and it's just trying to do area denial. Likewise, the robots we've been fighting, those are UESC soldiers, which I believe are doing the same thing we are. They're supposed to be humans up in space somewhere that are remotely controlling those robots. Though they could be AIs. I unfortunately did not follow that part closely enough. So there's a lot of factions. There's at least 7 factions. I would suspect there are more, because what we haven't met yet, we haven't met Durandal. But he is here. We've heard from him. We have heard his words. So we know that Durandal is here somewhere and is going to be an important part of the story. And I'm sure we're going to start talking to him soon. Yeah, so, also, if I remember correctly, so this line here, thank God it's you. Okay, so this is a reference to the original game, and it seems every time that you see a reference to the original game here, it's really easy to go like, oh, that's just fan service, it's just like, oh, we're throwing in a little Easter egg. Well, okay, so as it's been explained to me, the robots that go squid on you. Yeah, those are UESC, what they call, they're referred to as UESC recruits and other categories of soldier. And yeah, those represent ostensibly like the U.S. or the Earth, like military, Navy, basically. Okay, so in the original game, you were not alone. As you were exploring the Marathon, there were other humans there. And, oh shit. Okay, so that's a Claymore. There might be a player here. I don't think that Claymore should be there. I don't think that's a world spawn. Oh, geez, there's a whole bunch of them. Did someone garrison this place? Well, this hasn't been opened. So maybe I'm wrong. Well? Looks pretty dead, so maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, so as you're exploring the Marathon, there's other humans there. And the humans are referred to as Bobs. And Bob is an acronym for Born on Board. Because, of course, oops! Well, there goes the fucking bomb. Because, of course, it's a generational ship, so nobody who was on it when it left is going to survive the whole trip. Holy shit. Oops. Well, I'm probably going to die now. Huh? Oh, yeah, they're totally coming in. Or there are players out there. I'm going to book, because that kind of sounds like maybe they're fighting some other players. And I only have 5 minutes left to exfil anyway. I'm just like, you can tell I'm just sort of tooling around. I'm not trying to get anything done. I just, so you can see the game while I'm talking about it, right? But I'm going to try and get out anyway, just because it's nice to rack up exfils. It's not like I didn't get anything. Anyway, so Bobs are, your fellow security officers, generally speaking. And So they're there in the original game, and I think there's, other than a few escort missions, I think mostly they're just sort of character filler, right? That way. Sometimes the HUD is kind of hard to read. Where the hell is the ping? Ah! Sometimes I just cannot see the goddamn it got to be facing the right way. Yeah. It's right over there. Why can't I see it? This happens a lot. I hope they fix it. It seems to be a bug. Anyway, so in the first game, they're just sort of there. They help you shoot the aliens. They usually get killed themselves, etc. But I believe it's in the second game that I think it's the 4, figure out a new strategy of they make clones of the Bobs that look and sound like the real thing, but I think they run up to you and explode, right? And those ones, whenever they see you, will say things like, "Oh, thank God it's you." And that's how you know they're fake. So, have a good one, Zen. So Elfie, I 100% agree that I actually do think, that every time I have seen a problem with this game, oh, this little bit of UI is iffy, or this bit of I wish this was more readable, or I wish this or that. I do think about the fact that yeah, and if you had this job, that's what you would be thinking about your employers. You'd be thinking, oh, why do they keep giving us these shitty shells? Why do I keep why can't they make the the fucking deploy menu a little easier to read? Why do we keep having to rebuy our And I am 100% just simping for Bungie here, because I'm sorry, I like their games so much. I'm just willing to give them every molecule of goodwill. Unfortunately, it's a bad scene, but yeah, no, I'm in their fucking corner at this point. But it actually sort of alleviates some of the frustrations, because yeah, look, these games are plagued. This genre is plagued by some real problems. Okay, I want to show you this. All right, so this is our vault, right? So this is an overrun AR. Now I can recognize this thing's silhouette at 20 meters, right? Yep, there we go. That's our DMR. That's a damn good gun if you're doing short, light sniping. This is a proper sniper rifle. This is another overrun AR, but it's the non-enhanced version. You see this one's green, so that's a rarity level, right? Then this is our LMG, and then we've got a real light pistol there. We got an SMG. Those are fake. Don't use them. Then we got the Volt guns. I want to talk about the Volt guns. They're really cool. Got more pistols, and then this is a Volt SMG, also pretty cool. Then we got our backpacks. So these are basic backpacks. These ones are interesting. If you're wearing this backpack, any gun that you're not currently holding in your hand will slowly reload its current magazine, which is stupid. That's a silly idea, but also really neat. So if you've got a gun in your back, if you got a sidearm and you fire off a few rounds and you put it away and you forget to reload it, when you pull it out again, it'll be reloaded. So that's neat, with the trade-off being that if you take this out, you have that ability until you get killed. So, if you're going to bother taking something this nice, you better actually pay attention this run, right? Likewise, this one here slightly increases your health and shield consumable usage, which is really handy. So this is all really clean. This is really clean, okay? Then you get down here and things start getting really unfortunate. So these are mods. Every single thing you see on your screen right now is a mod, and as you can tell, the game has a problem with mod bloat. So we've got equipment, which is either grenades. Equipment is mostly grenades or ammo kits. So this is an ammo crate. You put this in here, and it's basically just it's one pack of heavy ammo, one pack of light ammo, and one pack of volt ammo consistently. And you could carry, I think, 2, maybe 3 of these in your equipment slot, and then you could just throw them down on the fly while you're running. And you might think to yourself, why wouldn't you just spawn in and just immediately throw them all on the ground and take the ammo? And the reason is, then you would have all this ammo taking up slots in your very limited backpack. Whereas if it's over here, it's not taking up that space, so you're buying some extra backpack slots essentially because this stacks. And B, your crewmates can take the ammo, right? So that's worth it. It's also you can put claymores and grenades there. Then you've got the rest of these are all upgrades. So you've got 2 cores, which are these things here, and then you have 3 implants: head, torso, and legs. The mods add a lot of depth to the game. Yes, Pear, you're right. The problem is there's too fucking many of them. So, and they're not easily distinguished. You cannot tell at a glance what these are. Notice that all of these have the same icon. The fact that it's orange just means it's for torso. So let's see what these are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds just to get the tooltips to pop up. And once you get here, do you remember what was over there? How can you compare these side by side to think about what one you want to take? It's really frustrating, right? The second problem is they don't name them clearly. So let's see. This is Nimble Fingers V2. Let me see. Hurting Hands, Helping Hands, Helping Hands. Damn, I don't have a good example right now. Okay, so Helping Hands V1 does not tell you what this implant does. You have to look below that to where it says ballistic resistance. So the largest text does not actually tell you anything about it. It's really frustrating. And apparently this is a Destiny problem, which they retained for this game, which is irritating. The other issue with it is that each of these mods gives you... It's one of those things like a Diablo likes at other like Schlooters and whatnot, where you're like, yeah, so this gun has plus 1% against bots and plus 2% chance to drop up to 4% extra gold. Sort of bullshit. And it's like, okay, in Diablo and Path of Exile and shit, that stuff all stacks. You can strategize around it. The problem here is twofold. First, this is a big, fast, intense, like super fast-paced game. So for instance, okay, this is when your shield breaks, hostile pings are immediately removed. Okay, so that's great in theory. And if I could take that as a permanent part of my character, if I could spec for that, I'd be interested in it. The problem is, first off, this is going to survive perhaps 2 runs before you're likely to get killed and lose it. So you can't restructure the way you play the game around having this ability. Now, this is a larger complaint that people who do not like this genre, who I respect tremendously, I don't like this genre, have about this genre. And that is, but you're fucking losing everything. Why do I want to play a game where I can always just have myself beaten back to square one? And the answer is, first, yeah, that's a real problem. it's tough. I admit. You know, I was not a fan of Arc Raiders and the other stuff of this genre I've tried, like Hunt, I think, was also an extraction shooter. And I didn't gel with them. I tried, but it does get frustrating. You finally get a little bit of progress, and then it's all just taken away. There's a few things that make it better here. First off, if we go to Armory, okay, you see this thing right here? This is a light ammo pistol. You could kill anyone in the game with this. If you can't, it's a skill issue. And since this is a multiplayer game, it's always a skill issue. So if you want to just get in and kill guys, I have $14,000 right now. That's not hard to have, right? So it costs you $50 for this and $200 for a pack of ammo. So if you don't want to take a sponsored kit, you can always just buy one of these and you're good to go, right? Now, I'm a little frustrated with the cost of health items. That is a bug. Like that one bugs me. That one bugs me, I'll admit. I wish the health items were cheaper. And I wish that... I just wish the game would... just auto issue you health and shields. Just 2, right? I don't think that would throw off the balance too much. But hey, look, they know better than me, so whatever. The point though is, it's not like if you lose all your guns, it's not like you're getting knocked back to square one. Like, yes, it's nice to have better guns, but if you just play a little judiciously, if you're just willing to back off from fights and play, both aggressively in the sense of, if you get attacked by a player, just go hog, right? If you are intending on killing them, you could do it with any gun in the game. You don't need anything special. You just need to have the killer instinct. If you don't have it, you just shouldn't encounter players. You can avoid them. It can be done. I think there's classes that are more specialized for this as well. But if you see players, it is often from such a distance that they are also freaked out. They are also moving fast. They are also scanning a very large, very complex battlefield. You could probably duck. And honestly, if your whole squad just turns and books it like Pizza Hut, if you just get the fuck out, there's a good chance that they will not pursue you, both because, A, you could just squirrel your way out. The game is, you saw, it's all twisty, turny corridors all alike, right? You could get away from people, and very quickly it stops being worth it to pursue. So you have the option of just real winners quit, right? You could just fuck off if you don't want to fight players. And if it's bots, you can always kill bots. You just got to take it slow, be willing to hide, and again, have a little bit of that killer instinct in you. And even then, you can wait for the bots to leave a lot of the time. Like, they'll mosey a lot of the time. So you've got options, right? And it's one of those things where I can't explain it to you other than, if you're worried about not feeling strong, I really think that the payoff of getting just 1 or 2 kills will give you so much adrenaline that lasts for a few rounds, that I don't think it's that hard to get into it and stay into it, even if it looks intimidating at first. That's my opinion, okay? So my take is, at least for me, I have been shocked at how much fun I have had without having to worry about my guns. Yeah, it sucks a little bit when I don't have any, but I could then go out on a few rook runs, kill some UESC, take their stuff, and that's where most of this came from, right? So whatever. Pardon me. But then there's the mods, which I don't really have time in my life for this. I won't do this. I just don't want to do this. And so, to be frank, a lot of the time when I'm going to deploy, I'll realize I don't have any. I'll just come over here and start clicking. I don't even read. I'm just it would be stupid to deploy with nothing in these slots, but I am not doing this. I am not doing this. Some of them look cool, but the inability to keep them is just... Yeah, when at critical health, your heat capacity is increased. Heat capacity is stamina. So they're saying, if you are getting shot at and you are booking it, and somebody gets you down to 5% health or 10% health, you're going to suddenly get a little more time to run. I can't plan around that, because they're probably going to kill me and I'm going to lose this. And I can't buy another one. I just have to find it in the world in a random spawn. I'm sorry. I don't understand the purpose. You could at least buy the guns, right? And a gun is a gun. But these are so specific that I don't understand how they're supposed to integrate. And in my opinion, I think that it would make a lot more sense for them to eliminate half of these and then, I don't know, figure out some way to make them retainable, because I don't want to do this. I just don't want to do this at all. I have no interest in this. And I don't think anybody else does either. I think this is one of the primary elements of the extraction shooter genre that just, I don't think anyone likes this, or not enough to keep. I don't think it's worth it. And then there's weapon mods too, right? These basically disposable guns. These are all mods for the guns. And as you can see, I'm not throwing them away because I'd be stupid to, right? Because if God forbid, I have to deploy with this basic bitch overrun AR, I'm going to drop it in the slot and then just come down here and start pounding on things. I don't know what they are, but maybe I'll survive. I'll never know why, right? But maybe I'll survive better with them. And this, look how much of my vault this is eating up. That's like 2/3 of my fucking vault is eaten up by mods. This just shouldn't be in the game. It just shouldn't be in the game. No one wants this, I don't think. Sorry. Somebody wants this, but I don't think enough people to justify how frustrating it is to deal with. It's just not very rewarding. And like I said, Arc Raiders has the exact same problem, and I have to feel like I can't help but feel this is something that Bungie felt obligated to do. Because and the biggest problem with it is just, what is all this? Look at all this shit. What is this, a foregrip? No, it's a steady mag. Look at this icon. Now, look at this icon. What's that? Gun. Assault rifle, right? You didn't even need me to fucking hover over it. You know that's an assault rifle. That's a DMR. That's a sniper rifle. That's an LMG. Duh. Right? What are these? They're backpacks. Duh. Now what's all this? I don't know, man. I don't care. That's a fucking bomb. That's a fucking grenade. That's a fucking grenade. Nobody, anyone would guess that. The fuck is all this? It's just little bits and pieces of shit. It's all trash. I don't want to do this. And then there's like crafting supplies down here. This is fractal circuits and reclaimed biostripping. And essentially what these are, they're not crafting supplies. What they essentially, they're alternate currencies. If we go over here to the armory, they're what are called barter wares. So if we hover over a shield charge, I could trade 3 unstable diodes for that. I could trade unstable biomass for patch kits. So this is what keeps you from draining your money. If you're out in the world and you're picking up these this goop and these diodes, you could trade it for health items, which is really worth it because they're so fucking expensive. Likewise, you could trade unstable gunmetal for bullets and gel for volt batteries and lead for heavy rounds, which is nice because those are a little expensive, but still $200 for 60 rounds beats the hell out of $300 for a shield charge that's you're going to eat 3 of those in one sitting, right? So it's a little uneven, and I hope they figure out how to polish that stuff because it, oof. Yeah. Oh, and I see somebody asking about the game stats and their meanings in the top left. I assume you're talking about this. Yeah, so this is our season level, and the season level determines which missions you could take and which areas you can access. You proceed through that pretty fast. I would have to check, but I feel like I have no idea how many runs I've done, but it's not that many, okay? So you need season level in order to progress through the available content. I don't play ranked. I don't know what the fuck that's about. But then there's Lux, which is their real cash money currency, and then Silk, which is the currency you could only gain by achieving things in the game, and then your credits, which are just generic money for the store. So the way this works is go over to factions. Oh boy, there's a lot going on here. So we've got 6 factions, okay, and I'm not gonna touch most of these because I don't want to do any spoilers. There's some pretty wild shit in here. But Cyber Acme is the first thing that you open, so that's safe. And the way this works is we click on here, and if we go to upgrades, so this is one of the tech trees, and then each of the factions has its own tech tree where upgrades are gated by your progress with that faction. So here are the tabs. And as we step through these, see they're all different tech trees, and they get you things like, in this case, this is how you expand your vault, so you can hold more shit. And that expires at the end of the season, but to be clear, you cannot pay to win in this game. Nobody is doing that anymore, right? With exceptions, but certainly Bungie isn't. So you can't... Yeah, Alfie, you're absolutely correct, right? That's what's great about it. This UI is so fucking bad. But it's bad in an incredibly directed and intentional way that makes you want to interact with it. It feels like this is what the fucking future would look like. Bad. Right? This is what 800 years of iteration on the goddamn Windows 11 UI would produce. Look at this inscrutable bullshit. And the worst part is I know what this means at this point. Yeah, it does feel like System Shock. You're absolutely right. I love the System Shock vibes I get from parts of this. Anyway, so, but to give you an idea what the economy here is like, if you buy this inventory expansion, so you can hold more shit in your vault before you have to throw it away, it only lasts for the rest of the current season. Question, at the end of the season, what happens to all the other shit in your vault that exceeds that limit? I have no idea. Let's worry about it later. But you cannot pay real money for this. You pay a mix of credits, unstable diodes, and unstable gunmetal, which are just like trash you pick up in the world, right? So essentially, you just play the game. Right? If you want to unlock this, the only way to do it is just do runs. Okay. Likewise, for like this thing here, if I want to, so by default, you can't buy backpacks, so your inventory is really, really small. Once you get backpacks, it adds a minimum of 8 slots, and then I think these ones add 16. And you have to both reach a given rank. So I can't do this one yet because I need to be rank 15 with Syak. With this faction, so I can't buy this thing, right? But again, you get that rank by just doing missions for them, and then you have to pay 4,000 credits, and that's it. And likewise, all these other things, it's money and rank with that faction. So there's no pay to win shit. And then we go back here. There is a store, but the store is very weird. So this is the only there are microtransactions of sorts. We'll get there. So this is the silk store, I believe. I think everything in here costs silk, which, like I said, I believe you only obtain by playing. This is mostly cosmetics. So, for instance, this is a profile background. So, like when you kill somebody, if they look at your profile, they'll see this, right? Okay. This one is a profile emblem. It's a weapon sticker that you see in first person, right? All just cosmetics. Here's a skin for your gun, right? However, one interesting thing are these. These are schemas, and from what if I followed this correctly, and I think I did, these actually are. This is a actual game-changing. This is a gameplay-altering thing you can purchase. So you spend 30 silk on this, and what it does is it unlocks this gun, not this style, but this gun, the Magnum MC, which is just like a big heavy pistol, for purchase in the store. So by default, you can only pick these up in the world, but once you buy this thing with silk, then it makes it possible to buy this gun, but it only buys you 3 of them. So that's interesting. And likewise, this one lets you buy the Retaliator LMG. You can see I unlocked that. The rest of this is cosmetics, and then you go to see like page 2, and it's like, oh, you have to claim 2 rewards to unlock. So you have to buy at least 2 things off this first page before you go to the second one. And then here's another unlock for a gun, so you'd be able to buy an SMG. But that's it. The rest of this is all cosmetics. None of these things change the gameplay. We go to 3, and okay, here's another unlock, but that's the only one here. You see what I'm getting at? You would have to play the shit out of the game to unlock all these things, and all it does is let you buy like a first level gun, not even the enhanced version, I don't think, right? And again, I don't think you could buy silk. I think you could only earn it by playing. Then there's, I think Lux is... Okay, so that actually, sorry, that punches me out to an external web page, so that's, I don't know what's going on there. But again, I'm certain it's all just cosmetics. Yeah, so this is the thing they're actually calling the store, and I think this is just a weapon style. Yep, it's just skins. It's just skins. And I think this is what you could buy with money, but that's it. So, there are a lot of games nowadays that are not letting you pay to win in any context, and this is clearly one of them. So generally speaking, it's like pretty ungreasy as far as design, like basic gameplay loop goes. The future's, why shouldn't the future be cubes? Also notice we've got more of the labels here, load here. I also love this guy. He's real good. I love playing as him because he's got talons. And I'm also just like, I'm a real pro-robot kind of individual. But I also do love the fact that it says feed, feed, feed down here, which makes me wonder, so does he eat then? I don't know if we'll be learning. Let's see, another thing, there's a codex, but the codex is not quite what you would hope it would be. It's interesting. So the codex is a mix of, and we're going to have a little bit of a spoiler here, but not a huge one, right? So look away if it bothers you. Once you unlock some of these, like, Chivos, then it lets you read terminals from Marathon! This is the terminals for the original Marathon! That just give you lore about the world. So here's just, we get to read a file. Pardon me. And so yeah, this is just some lore about the world we were just in. Dire Marsh's defining curiosity is the anomaly, the ethereal scar cutting across the west central region. And we'll leave it at that. But yeah, it's very interesting. And if you play the game, boy, there's a lot going on there. What I love more than anything is the iconography. This iconography is breathtaking because, again, they have come up with a completely new a completely new style for, like, how to call it. Like I said, they redesigned the OSHA iconography, but like just iconography, right? There it is. There it is. That's what I'm driving at. Look at this warning symbol here. Who would draw it like that? The weird squared off edges and like the interesting locations where they put bevels, right? But I also love, look at this symbol for an outpost. Yeah, that's what an outpost looks like. Obviously. Of course it would be, right? That's a drawing of an outpost. You've never seen it depicted that way, but it clearly means that. If we go over to loot, this is my favorite thing of the entire game. Please look at this diagram depicting weapons. Ah, the idea of depicting a gun with that shape is...
Weapon.
I just stare at it and stare and stare and stare. Oh, it's breathtaking. So, great stuff in here.
Weapon.
Great stuff in here. And just like, the choice of colors and so good. All right, so Rooks can't go to perimeter in duo mode. Being discriminated against. All right. So there's different threat levels to the different areas. So perimeter is easy mode. Then after you play that for a bit, you unlock Dire Marsh, which you've now seen, and then you unlock Outpost, and then Cryo Archive. What I have heard in like some random article on some website is that very few players are ever going to see Cryo Archive. It is apparently very difficult to get to. I guess we have 16 days left to get there, I think. Maybe that's what's left of the season. I don't know. I don't do live games, so I don't really know any of the basic terminology here. Oh, there's the marathon. I assume that means that if we go to the Cryo Archive, we are going... Yes, that's right, because Bungie actually announced that, yes, the raid for Season 1 is on the marathon. And I really want to go, but I don't know if I'm going to have... I'm not that hardcore at gamers. I just don't know if my squad is going to be able to put in the hours to get there. But either way, hey, if I have to watch a YouTube video, like, at least it's better than nothing. But having seen the marathon in Marathon 1994 raises the very interesting question, how are they going to retcon it, or will they? Just, fascinating question. Sorry, I'm reading the, yeah, Elfie, like, there's the colors, basically, based on everything in the game, all the, like, I've skipped a lot of the environmental storytelling. It is rich, okay? Based on a lot of the hints that are in here, and a lot of just like the details that you find in places where you wouldn't expect to find them, the general consensus with my group is that we don't think that Bungie did a single thing here just because it looked good. We believe very firmly that every single thing we are seeing means something. They have a Bible 10 inches thick. Every pixel has a meaning. It all is explained somewhere, and none of it is incidental. So whether that will turn out to be true or not is hard to say, and it's putting a lot of faith in these strangers. But it just feels like, for instance, in something that recurs, you see down here, it's really hard to make out over the stream. It was really low resolution even here, but that message that I was mousing over is the warning from a can of compressed gas, or like computer duster. It says something like, don't heat can burst. This has shown up in 10 different places. They keep pasting it over some of the most important visual design in the game will have this message about the can. What does it mean? Because it means something. And I can't wait to find out what. Here's more of that new OSHA shit. Just, same, but different. I love this is the one thing where I think the designers actually fucked up, because this is literally a mistake. This would never happen on a space colony, because every single one of these P-traps, every single one, this is all prefab, right? Nobody would put an S-trap in, because that's wrong. S-traps cause problems. But it is a common plumber's mistake.
Remain.
Oh, right. I was gonna say, let's get out in the light here. Fuck, I love the way the buildings are shaped in this. He's got claws. See? He's got robot hooves. Oh, it's real good. Yeah, that's good stuff. Anyway, package. So one of the things that we've been really thinking about is, what happened here? All this very purposeful text, and then we've got and again, one of the theories that we've got is the AI that was printing all this stuff started to have a problem. So, food for thought. Seal, attach. Arrgh! The plastic sheeting, they just have like plastic sheeting taped over stuff. Don't worry about that. I'm sure that's fine. Connect. Filter. Brand name. It's so good. Gary. We just got like a building inside a building. Oh, and then these big tarp doors. I love them. These big, like, heavy vinyl sheet curtains with the light leaking in the bottom. What I wouldn't give for a button that opens that, but unfortunately it ain't happening. Okay, we got a bot here. Oh, he saw me. Oh, he did an interesting pathfinding thing. They seem to be programmed to back off. Their deliberate engagement distance is really far away for some reason. So, the gun I'm using right now is a type called a volt weapon with a V. Now, volt weapons have a really interesting property. So, I can't be sure of this, but they feel like they hit like a truck. They feel like they do more damage than like light ammo weapons. And they feel like there's an enormous, like they're really ammo efficient. Feels like you get a lot of shots out of each magazine. The problem is that a player? No. The problem is they don't do tactical reloads. If you're mid-magazine and you hit reload, you lose what was left in the magazine. This is disastrous, because the last game I can think of that had the nads to do that came out in the 90s, I think. It is just not done. It is a violation of the... Players have been here. It's a violation of the basic tenets of first-person shooter game design. You're just not allowed to do that. It's just too rude. You know, by our standards and expectations. You just, no, you don't do that. And indeed, you do not have to... What was that? What is that little indicator there? Oh. I have no idea what that indicator is. What the hell? Huh. This game does not require you to put up with that. You never need to use a Volt weapon if you don't want to. There are always alternatives. Take a different sponsored kit, you know? You always have that option. And honestly, it's not that hard to get loads and loads of Volt ammo. But if you're using that gun, if you want its benefits, namely, well, there's a lot of them. Like they're good guns is part of the thing. Like I've gotten more kills with Volt weapons. I've gotten more kills with Volt weapons than bullet weapons on a typical deployment, if I'm deliberately deploying with, like, Volt weapons. But you just have to retrain yourself and to constantly think about what you're doing, because my hands, I'm about to pull my gun out and my finger is reaching for the R button. It wants to reload, right? But, of course, you can't do that. And it never gets easier. And again, this is one of those things where the decision, the fucking decision that Bungie made to put such a, what's the word I'm looking for here? A challenging concept in the game. Here, of all places, in a live service, you know, schluter of sorts, is no one else would do this.
5 minutes remain.
It's bizarre that they just had the enormous courage to put such an experimental idea. Like if this was in a Rainbow Six game, I would be saying, boy, that's brave. But to do this in a game like this that has so many other problems it's trying to solve, and that this frankly interferes with solving them, I think is an act of unmitigated gall, to quote Worf. It's a real strong decision, and I love it. Because there's just such a feeling of accomplishment when you use these things correctly and you don't fuck up. Oh, you feel like a dumb shit when you fuck up. When you reload mid-mag, you're gonna curse yourself out every time. Just like, fuck, not again! We don't need this shit. Let's cloak. You're gonna curse yourself out over and over and over because you're just gonna do that same stupid thing again, you fucking dumbass. Why'd you just don't reload? Fuck, don't reload. But you're just gonna keep doing it for a while. But when you get it right, when you're the person, especially when you're playing with other players, that's the other thing. This is a team game, and there's no getting away from it. When you are playing with other players and you get this right, it feels so good. Okay. I am gonna dump that mag. God, I don't think I have it. I don't think I've got it in me. Shit. The spotter bot got me. Okay, if I am able to cycle around and just get this, if I can start this exfil, they might not have time. Okay, Q for healing. I love that he talks with the 80s voice synth, even though we know for a fact that one, a human is driving this, and two, we've got AI with perfect voice synthesis in this world. Okay, well, that's it. I'm out of ammo. All I can do is hope for the best. Nope, I'm not gonna make it. I have done the fucking Bugs Bunny thing and cycled around behind the tree or telephone pole, but not this time. Nope. Oh man, buddy. Don't squid me, bro. I broke the connection, but that's not good enough. Oh, yep. Well. It's the slowest exfil in the world. Alright. Got. Woohoo! Yeah, in the original Marathon, it was sort of similar because you didn't have a dedicated reload button. You had to fire until you ran dry, and it would reload automatically. It was one of the first games that had any form of reloading that meant something. But it essentially was the same limitation because if you could look down at your HUD and see that you only had 3 bullets left in your mag. But they were so precious that just firing them off was a waste, and so that's all you could do, right? Is you just had to get in an encounter and figure it into your strategy. You'd go like, okay, in this next room, if there's 4 in here, I'm gonna have to just fire 3 times and then be ready to dodge because I'm not gonna have enough ammo to stun lock them or take them down. And that is a remarkable amount of tactical thinking for a game from 1994, right? But likewise, to add that element, let's just do perimeter again. Actually, fuck it. Let's go outpost. Outpost is hard, but beautiful. It feels like a tiny bit of a spoiler, because if you're going to play this game, like when you get to outpost, you're going to have your mind blown a little bit, but whatever. It's just one of the 3 missions. You know, you probably get there, so I'm not going to call this a spoiler, but God, it's a cool fucking world. Anyway, to add that element to this game in a reduced and optional fashion is again a fascinating decision. Oh, the moth. Hello. This imagery is a little disturbing. Sorry if you don't dig it. But unfortunately, the moth is my friend and soft and big, and I love him. This is not the best video. I don't see this one very often. Yeah, Ether Step is the trademark name for how they connect your consciousness to the shell. Oh man, this fucking loading animation! Ah, it's so good. All right, so Outpost. Outpost has one special feature which you're gonna find out about pretty soon.
Oh, I'm dead.
Thank you. Ah, damn, it just happened. All right, the heat cascade. Well, you'll get to see it when it happens again. Because it happens pretty often. Yo, I'm dead. Let's see. Protect your data. Oh, yeah. Welcome back. It's got the world's worst Windows XP wallpaper. It's great. Yeah, I'm playing it ultra wide. Yep. Yeah, meow. So one of the most destructive things about this game is if you're working on a creative endeavor, the desire to start lifting shit is so fucking intense. And like, we already been over that, you know. Let's not make this. Not getting. Don't look. It's a problem, right? One of the biggest issues in creative work where you're starting from a blank page, which, you know, look, I've had my own shit with. I've had my own shit dealing with is what I do truly creation, right? I'm very proud of many of the things I've made, but when I see somebody who could just draw a picture, who could just start with a blank sheet of paper, and 10 minutes later, ideas are being communicated to me by the shapes that they have made with a pencil, that feels like being God. That feels like something that I would be willing to cut off part of my body. We'll negotiate on which to have that ability. And I realize at the same time, like I've done some drawing. There's probably some people watching who have seen things I've drawn, and I can do it. I am absolutely capable of becoming a skilled artist, but I would have to put in the 10,000 hours, and I'm busy spending them elsewhere. So I just, you know, I have not overcome the... Oh, hey, here's an aesthetic detail you've never seen in a game before. This is a vinyl, like a rubber sheet wall, and that is the light outside shining through the support mesh. You have never seen anyone do this in a game. All right, here comes the heat cascade. Let's see. Let's open this door and... Yeah? There we go. Yeah, so it's raining lava? It's hard to say. Anywhere that has a view of the sky, the floor is now lava. Now, you may notice we are quote-unquote indoors, but this part is still getting rained on. Well, if we were outside and we were standing under just a little bit of a ledge, we would be protected. It's not region-based. It is actually based on what is obscured. So this is all dangerous, but over there, under that little tarp, that's safe. Did I hear someone? No. This game makes you so fucking paranoid. So yeah, if we... Ow! Like, I did not need to do that. But you can see it didn't do that much damage to me, right? And we're safe here. So they actually went to the trouble. I don't know if this is dynamic. I would guess that it isn't. I'm guessing they built tooling to build a map for it. But it's still so fucking cool. And you can hear there's players over there having a fight in the distance. I don't know how far away they are, but I don't want to find out. And you can also see what I was saying, that those are vinyl walls. So you can see the support framework underneath it. Wonderful use of displacement mapping. Also, they shrink-wrapped all the equipment that they sent to this planet. So they all look like Xerox phaser, like wax ink modules, right? My desire to get a razor knife and start unsealing this thing is indescribable. I want it so bad, it's rude that they don't let me have it. So another thing worth pointing out about this map, it's a big fucking map, by the way, so I don't even know where I am right now. I've played this, I don't know, a dozen times or so. No fucking idea where I am. Yeah, what's the good question? What's the tarp made of, right? And I think, God, the lighting is so good. I think the best answer for that is future shit. It's made of the future. Don't worry about it. All right, so, oh no. Well, I wasn't expecting that. Oh, maybe I'll get, okay, yeah. So, once in a while you encounter, you're in like these maintenance tunnels, right? And once in a while you'll encounter a spot where you have to duck. And every time you do, it doesn't feel like you're meant to be there. It feels like the places where you have to duck in the real world, where like the humans aren't supposed to be in here. This is just a little bit lower than it should be. And it feels like maybe going under here is a bad idea. Like maybe you could get trapped in here because this is not a human inhabitable space. Now, the fact that they put equipment down there that needs to be maintained by human hands doesn't change what I said. You see what I'm saying? They have put things that... Player. Oh yeah, that's a player. Is he alone? Oh, he saw me. This is the worst thing that can happen. Or the best if I win. But yeah, that guy is sizing up. Well, with only 9 minutes left, he might be prioritizing an exfil.
Yeah!
Christ, the detail in this place. I haven't even been here before. Look at all this. It's a fucking live service game. What are they doing?
Where is it?
Okay, so the only active exfil is guarded.
Megabytes.
Guarded means when I activate it, UESC will deploy. And I can't fight a whole squad of UESC right now. So I'm going to have to hold out for the next exfil.
300 megabytes.
Weapon!
It's funny because there's a detail of the level I wanted to show you, but I just don't... Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Oh, fuck. There was a detail of the level I wanted to show you, but I just don't... I don't even know how to get there. Oh, right. Oh, wait, no, that's restricted. I can't even use that one. Fuck. No feed, no drink. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. There's also just weird little drifts, semantic drifts. This says no food, no drink, except that for some reason they have decided that in the future, the corporate messaging would say no feed, no drink. Why? What does this mean? Why would that drift happen? I don't know. But it did. Oops, that's gonna get toasty. So the cascade's about to start, and I'm really curious if it's going to light up this little patch down here. It should. Oh, yeah. Yep. Okay, so it's not hurting me, but I'll bet if I were to climb up there to the top, yeah, because people are livestock. Hey, there's a good angle. So there's an elephant in the room that we have to discuss. For anybody who is familiar with the current culture around this game, there's an elephant in the room that must be brought up. It is the drinkable cheeseburger. It's just something there's no getting around it. The game contains a drinkable cheeseburger. I will get a picture of it later, once we are out of this, this however this ends. But it is many treatises on the future of space exploration, all rolled into one, plus several very interesting opinions about the future of agriculture and many other things. But also visually, it is one of the most merchandisable objects I've ever seen in my life. And an important thing that I think we need to address here is that the consensus among everyone I know, that terrified me, that fucking shadow. Among everyone I know, the consensus is Bungie could not have known or believed in their heart of hearts that this was going to be a hit. But it is. This should not be a hit. But people love it. I mean, you can see me gushing here, right? I was cynical as fuck about this game. I didn't expect it to be anything. But holy hell. Holy hell. They really did something here. All right, so this is guarded. Camo. Okay. Okay. Shit. How long does it take for the fucking stealth to re-engage? Oh, shit! I thought it was quicker than that. If I'm very lucky, they won't see me, but I think they saw me. Oh, hell. Okay, I can break the connection.
Oh, I'm dead.
Yo! I'm dead. Well, that was fun. Oh, holy shit. 9 seconds. Oh, it might be doable. Maybe. This could happen. Woo!
Oh, I'm dead.
Holy shit. Woohoo!
I live again.
Oh! Woof! Yeah, so, regarding the question, oh, that's interesting. I got dropped from chat for a second. Regarding your question, do the robots bleed? The shells bleed. Yeah, that's the thing. Don't, like, trust me, everyone I know is angry that this is good. It's really upsetting. Like, the amount of bad will that existed over basically all of Bungie's decisions is just hilarious, really. And for them to just turn this ship around in this way was so unexpected. So unexpected. All right, so real quick, I am going to mute the game for a second, and I'm going to roll some beautiful bean footage for you, okay? Let me see. Bonk. All right. Wait, I captured this at 16:9? That's not right. Hold on a second. Is that... Oh, weird. It's being interpreted as 16:9 for some reason. Well, that's fresh. Well, I know it's 21:9, so I'm just going to resize it. Okay, and it is in front of Clive. Here. There we go. All right, and then, let me see, how do I monitor this? I click that button there. Okay, cool. All right, so this was like on my first week of playing. Actually, this was during the demo. This was during the server slam. Oh, yeah. You know what? It'd be great if Marathon had a single-player campaign, but there was no way they could have made that happen within the current like ecosystem, the current atmosphere of the games industry. However, I have a secret desire in my heart that this will lead to a new single-player Marathon, and I am so hoping. Right? All right, let's roll this. I titled this file. Oops, sorry. A little louder than I intended. I titled this file "Holy Shit 1.mp4." All right, so I'm playing Rook. There's bots. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Oh shit! Whoa, there's more than I thought. More bots than intended. All right, let's shield or let's camo. This is terrifying. It's so fucking scary. Well, I didn't know much about the game at this point, so I thought that guy had a kit on him, and he didn't. I thought this was a door, and it's not. So I'm just getting more and more frantic because I don't know how long this thing lasts, right? But I see this guy duck in here. He's partly dead, and I'm like, okay, I got this. And I don't know about the knife at this point, right? So I just murk him. They heard me. Okay. All right.
10 minutes remaining.
We got this. All right, fuck him up. I should have been fucking dead, right? It just should have happened. All right, so let's turn on the self-repair, pop some health items, reload. All right, we got the drop on this guy. All right. Oh, shit, not enough ammo. Oh, fuck, he's here. Got his goofy ass. Frantically healing. And that's that. I cleared the whole fucking squad. Right? I was panting for like 5 minutes. I was just, that couldn't have happened. There's no way. All right, this is holy shit 2.mp4. All right, so I'm about to exfil, and I'm by myself, and I'm like, it's a guarded exfil. Okay, all right. Okay. Turn the camo on. Oh! There's so many of them! They're stomping around looking for me, and I'm right here. And if they see me, I'm fucking dead. But I don't know how long, I don't know how to read the fucking cooldown counter, so I don't realize I only have 3 seconds left. It's gone. They just haven't turned around. I'm visible. They just haven't turned around. All right, I'm doing the fucking Bugs Bunny thing. I'm hiding. Oh, he saw me. All right, go loud. Okay, got knocked. But it's all right because I managed to run out the clock. Woo! Get rocked! Yeah! Fuck! When it's good, it's real good! And you could do 10 runs and not do a single thing that you want to remember, right? you could embarrass yourself over and over. You could have a whole night of just terrible times. And then you could do some shit like that and just feel like $1 million. And oh boy, it is a feeling. Let's do another couple of runs, then we'll call this good. But it's been a pretty good stream if you ask me. I've been having a good time. And yeah, I just unapologetically. 100% unapologetically, I hope you're all looking at this and going, holy shit, I want to buy this game. I will tell you, though, you really want to find a squad. You really don't want to play this by yourself as an exclusive approach to the game. I think you could get some fun out of it, but if you have the option to play this with somebody, I really think you should. It adds so fucking much. Oh, the burger! Oops. Drinkable cheeseburger. Images. Oh, hell, I'm not going to find this in time. Here it is. 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 Add. Browser. Okay. There it is. So this is the drinkable cheeseburger. And the two great things about it are A, burger, B, tastes like meat isn't, and then 3, friend mouth. Friend mouth. Friend mouth. Before I realized that people were like consistently referring to this as quote drinkable cheeseburger, we were just referring to it as burger for two, which I kind of think emphasizes the best part of it much better than the fact that, oh sure, it's drinkable and that's wild, but also like we have MREs, we have astronaut food, you know, stuff like that. The fact that it says the phrase friend mouth on it. Notice that it doesn't say like mouth second mouth or just mouth twice or anything like that. It explicitly calls out that you would want to consume this with a friend. Yeah. I've been thinking about drinkable cheeseburger a lot. Also, talk to Gabriel. Gabriel is one of the AIs running the colony, I believe, and there's a lot of verbiage hanging around. What does your biodata say about you? There's a lot of verbiage hanging around about how the colonists recommend that you talk to Gabriel and check with Gabriel a lot, and very interested to see what's going to become of that. Algae bites, minimal flavor, maximum function. Oh, what was that? Did I get shot? I did. Shh. Lizard boy got me. That's so rude. Oh, it was another rook. Okay, so I got two things to say about this. You're just gonna have to put up with me for a second on it. First off, I think the fact that when you go to execute somebody like that, you roll them over and look them in the eyes is one of the gayest things I've ever seen in a very positive way. And secondly, every time when you're playing Rook and you encounter another Rook in the world... Wait. What the hell? What just happened? There's two of me. What? 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 What's happening? Ah! I don't know what to do! Ah! What? What if, what if I press prepare and there's two of them on, I'm sorry. I don't know what to do at this point. Prepare. Please show me to. Oh, what the fuck is happening? Yeah, I've got a tulpa now, and he has no items. What's going to happen if I ready... Oh, God. Oh, it readied both of them. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. We've got to do the run. We've got to do the run. What is this going to do? It still says there's 2 people in my squad. What's going to happen here? Okay, finally, he's gone. He's gone. He's gone. Oh. That was terrifying. Yeah, someone had wasties, someone had arrows. I don't think you can understand the feeling of existential horror that just happened to me. Like, I was not faking. This is the... Who is it Germa? I don't know. Oh, shit! Bucket, bucket, bucket. There we go. I think it's Germa that's got the video clip where he's just like doing something, and then he like, somebody in chat is like, dude, you got to look at the wall, and he turns around, there's just a dick on the wall. Like somehow the light has come through his blinds in such a way that it's created just a dick on his wall, I think it is. And he's just sitting there like, what? What's happening? What could this mean? Oh. Hey, by the way, so that's a drop ship. That's a whole ass fucking spaceship up there. And I love it because... Okay, those are bots over there. Reinforcement assembly. Continued structural integrity of vessel hull relies on full panel replacement following each re-entry event. And then this incredibly complicated little, That's a player. That's a player. Where the fuck are they? Okay, you're bots. They're over here. Fucking positive that player's over here. It's a spotter bot. Okay, that's a robot stomping over there.
Who is it?
I think I lost the player, unfortunately. I really wanted to murder them. I was really looking forward to it. Sounds like bots out there. Yeah, exactly, Warlock, you're right. Like, nothing here looks like anything we recognize, and yet it's all correct. This is all precisely what it should look like. It all reads perfectly clearly. Oh yeah, thermal shield. I still feel like I hear a player. Oh, that's a player. They're coming up. No, I think they just opened a door. Oh my god. Not the most elegant way of doing it, but... If we're gonna engage, fuck it. I want to make that number go up. Yeah, see, to wit, notice how that player just fucking left when they realized I was here? Like, nope. Nope, actually, we're not doing that. Shit. Shit, they see me. Oh, boy. That's the other thing. When you meet another player, you know they're terrified. But I'm sure they know there's only one of me. Plus, I have fucking spawn. I have a spawn weapon, for Christ's sake, so I'm not much of a threat, but they don't know that. Okay? Alright, they're tangled with some bots. God, you gotta cover so much fucking area. It's like, it's one of the best tactical shooters I've ever played, which is bizarre. You know, for what it is. Yeah, that wasn't useful. Wasn't worth it. For what it is, you just wouldn't expect it to be that good of a, like, this is the sort of game where you're, you know, whispering at your squad mates, you know, to fucking hold. Yeah! Got your goofy ass! Get rocked! Does he have friends? Does he have friends? I don't think so. I think he was alone. Oh man, this dude was holding. Let's go. Don't mind if I do on that one. That's good. Frankly, don't mind if I do on that one, but all right. Very good. This is how we do it. 5 minutes to exfil. Can we do this? Oh my god, they're both restricted. Well, I guess I could wait for the final. That's not restricted. Yeah, Shadowhog, there is literally a way to declare a truce, which in other games of this genre gets used, but it is a topic of wide debate and you know, everybody has recognized the fact that in this game, for some reason, nobody is interested in being friends. If they see you, they will kill you, Prince of 1,000 Enemies. Like, it is brutal. It is vicious. And everybody seems to be happy about this, including Bungie, who, you know, for what it's worth, there is a message that plays sometimes when you get into a world, when you join into a world where the AI tells you, if you see anybody else, do not let sympathy get in the way of achieving your mission. So, this is in the text, to be clear. Part of me wants to move towards that secured exfil, but I literally can't use it. Like, I don't have the security code, and I don't know where to get it. It's one of the problems with this map. Well, it's one of the challenges of this map, right? So my other option is basically just hide until the next set of exfils opens. I don't know what else to do, because I... Oh, okay. Wait, am I... Oh, there we go. Untag that. Okay, so I am going... Okay, again, the fucking exfil does not show up on the HUD. There. Okay, 160 meters. Let's go. So, the thing I was saying about Volt weapons? That motherfucker did not have a chance. Someone's coming. It's a bot. It's only 2 minutes to exfil. There's no shelter. Sometimes you can see your way to run across the field, hiding under various things, but not here. If you're talking about the shiny floor out there, that's a heat cascade. It's a firestorm. It'll end soon enough. Well, that's a strong way of putting it, actually. I'm probably fucked. The chances of me exfilling here are not high. God, I almost want to just book it. Heat storm be damned, but there's no cover. Well, that's a player. If they catch me, I'm dead, so. Well, here's a strat I've never used before. The fuck? What happened? Did I get shot? I think I did. Okay, we got players. Oh, they're at the exfil. They're totally at the exfil. Which means... Oh boy. Oh boy. That probably wasn't the way to do it. Yeah, that wasn't the way to do it. Well, it was a nice run. I did kill somebody. I'll give you that. Well. I mean, there's nothing I can do. There's no point to even trying to escape, but, still, you did get to see the kind of sociopathy that this game induces in anyone. The moment that you, hey, why does this say I got hurt by me? I'll just choose not to think about it. Anyway, yeah, so, it just... Everybody who plays this game doesn't get it until the first time that you get the drop on a player and just eradicate them and then stab them in the fucking heart. And right there, you understand what it means to be a predator who is seeking the same prey, but you're getting it and not them. It is... It's an important thing to know about yourself. I'll put it that way. It's a good game. It's a good game. If you have the wherewithal. Particularly if you have friends to play it with. Competitive trespassing game. Wow. If that's how you're describing this, like, that is a really interesting way to point it. Because, one, it literally is. That is true. Like, lore-wise, yes, you are trespassing on the, well, according to the UESC, you are trespassing on their planet, and it is full of security guards. And, man, I have... Oh, yeah, Zebby, like, there's again, no spoilers, but like there are a number of lore elements that support the idea that a lot of this story is going to be about man attempting to outrun his animalistic nature, and failing. And I love that, so we'll be on board for that for sure. But Samus, we're fighting for 6 different factions. There are 6 different corporations that you could take missions for. So you're like a freelancer, sort of. And you take missions for each of them. And the best part is that the factions all know each other. The factions are all working at cross purposes to one another. And they also know that you are working for all of them. And so there are some... Because the way it works is you start out with just Syak, and then after you do a few missions for them, they introduce you to the rep from New Caloric, who then Traxxas, Maida, Arachne, and Sekiguchi one at a time. And so they all know that you are working for their competitors. But this is how the world works at this point, right? So, soft joint venture, yeah, exactly. And so in some cases, you're doing stuff that is notionally directly opposed to their interests, but hey, it's how the cookie crumbles. Yeah, really good dissonance in the politics. Zarea, that is some hot fire. Yeah, that's real good. There's only one of you. You're all just different backups of the same guy, and an AI is trying to figure out why humans are like this. I'm taking a screenshot of that message. Wow. Is that Traxxas Heavy Industries? Seems likely. I'll go with it. God. Man, yeah, I really like the idea that this whole thing isn't happening. Insofar as, like, the whole thing is in VR, and the entire purpose of it is Durandal is trying to figure out why do people keep doing this? Oh, that's good. You see. Oh, I'm sorry. So is Maida in Halo? I don't know this stuff. So, that's curious. Why don't I know this stuff? Because I know quite a bit about Halo now. I don't remember if I did any more streams after the new year. I must have, right? I must have. I know I did a shitload leading up to it. Yeah, I'm sure I did. I'm sure I talked about the fact that I played all the Halo games. Yeah, right. During my Dark Souls stream, I was talking about how frustrating the story is, right? And so I do know quite a bit about it, but I don't know about Maida. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that does make sense. Okay. But so what was I talking about? I'm going to go ahead and mute the game here. So I lost my train of thought from earlier. I want to finish this thought. Right. So what I was going to say is I have trespassed several times in my life. Let's see. I've trespassed a couple times in my life. Like I've done like urbex stuff. And the feeling of being in a place you're not supposed to be and then realizing there is someone else there is, I think, one of, like, it's an instinct that is built into every one of us. But if you haven't done that thing, then maybe it has never activated in you. You may not have ever had the feeling that creates, but I think it is a universal feeling that comes from the oldest parts of us. And it is incredibly spooky, right? It is literally the knowledge that you are being hunted. Yes, the security guard or cop or whatever may not know that they're looking for you, but they are looking for the type of thing that you are. You, in the abstract, they are the predator. You are the prey. You are the type of thing they are looking for. Why did Clive's arms do that? So like categorically, you are the thing that they are trying to hunt down and, maybe not kill, but it's in the cards, right? And either way, you don't want this outcome, right? You are hiding from them. And for all intents and purposes, they have your scent and are looking for you. And I was doing some urbex in my early 20s. And I don't want to give too much details on where we were. I don't know why. It feels, feels weird. But we were exploring an abandoned facility, me and like 5 other friends. And we came across a door that we couldn't quite get open. We pushed it open 6 inches, and it was like blocked by stuff. But we could see into the room. There was a bunch of stuff in the room. Just crap, trash. The whole place was trashed. And we moved on to another part of the building. And when we came back by there, for some reason, one of us pushed the door open. And the whole room was slashed in red paint. I'm telling you, this happened. I'm not making this up. This dead ass happened. Fresh red paint just dripping down the walls. And we booked it. We got the fuck out of there. Because we hadn't heard anything. We hadn't seen anyone. But someone was there. Were they trying to send a message to us? Who knows? But it was that feeling, right? So I felt it. And it's the same thing I felt in this game. That, like, I have not felt this in any other video game. Knowing that everything out there is gunning for you. And if they see you, they're going to just go feral. They're going to go after you with all the intensity and vitriol and rage and hunger that they have in them. And you will either stop them with your own might, or you will escape them, or you will be killed. Those are the 3 options. And the second one isn't very good. If they really want you, you probably aren't going to get away. If there are 3 of them and there's one of you, you are dead meat unless you have the killer instinct. Unless you do something you didn't know you could do. And what is really interesting is what happens when you're with a squad. And the other 2 people in your squad get taken out. And you're still there. And the enemy is there. And there are 3 of them and 1 of you. And then 1 minute later, there are none of them and 1 of you. And you are panting. It tells you interesting and important details about yourself. Things you might want to know. It's a good game. I just noticed that Rook's Belly says read notice before use. God, this game is so good. So that's Marathon. Any questions? Hey, hang on a second. Wait, hang on a second. Give me a moment. Where'd I put it? Wait, where did I put it? Oh, what the fuck? Oh, right. I never used it here. That's right. I was going to load up my Clive S. Pumpkins outfit and then say any questions again. Clive's sword. Clive. This is the broken sword hilt from Dark Souls. Clive has just started the game. He is level 1. Oh, right. Okay. So the restricted exfil. If I understand correctly, you can't use it unless you have found a security code out in the wild and downloaded it from a terminal. I've done that a couple times and then never gotten around to actually using it before I got killed. But in the question of the other shells. Somebody asked about the other shells. Oh, I guess we don't. Do we not get a? Well, here we'll just. So I'm going to tell you straight up that I'm not a huge fan of the different shells. I think that they're the one part of the game that's a little weak because they sort of feel like they're from a different game. Druid, I'm not sure. Send me an email. We'll talk. I'm not sure. Like, there's optics stuff. Anyway, so this guy, this is like the tank. He has rocket launchers on his shoulders as his ult, and he can do a shield. It's like really useful stuff, but just like his design does not excite me. Vandal, I haven't played any other shells. I've just been playing the fighter the whole time. She looks like a fucking a Linkin Park music video, whatever. Recon is the most interesting because Recon gets very close to being a proto-gen, but unfortunately has this going on, which just look. Big robot fan over here. If you're going to make something that comes this close to being an android, don't give it a human face. Just pull this down. Fix it. Actually, don't pull this down. Push that up. This is just a missed opportunity as far as I'm concerned. Assassin. It's kind of cool. Again, it's just like, yeah, okay. Boy, I'll bet she has a creed. Whatever. This guy here looks like a JoJo's character, which is kind of good. Sort of. This is the medic. And I don't know. That's all I got on that. And then Thief, kind of is all right. I don't like the character designs at all. I don't like them at all. But there's a really interesting take on this. There's a really interesting take on this that my group has been tossing around, which also came up. It also came up in an article that I read, which I thought had a very good point. It said that. Shit. Let me give me a moment. Let me find this screenshot because I thought it was really poignant. I thought it really addressed the problem. Here we go. This is an article on Eurogamer.net that's entitled "One of Marathon's Best Tricks: It Dodges the Blorko Problem That Doomed Concord and Highguard." So what they're talking about there, Blorko is a reference, if I remember correctly, to a complaint people have about Marvel movies and stuff like that, where you've got the whole movie, and then there's the credits, and then post credits, just you get a scene like some guy just walks on the screen and goes, "I'm Blorko," and then it cuts to black, and everyone's supposed to get excited. But if you don't know this character, this is nothing to you. This is just filler, right? He's just nothing. And so it is a larger problem of what happens if you as a, let's be gentle, okay? Let's say creator, right? Because yes, we are talking about corporate stuff here, but come on. There are real artists behind this stuff, and this applies at all levels. So let's just, in general, if you're going to do certain things to hype up your audience, you had better be right. You'd better stick the landing, because if you don't, it is worse than having no hype at all. The Blorko problem is that Highguard and apparently Concord, which I know nothing about, but in my opinion, a lot of other games have wanted to be hero shooters, because this is a much larger topic I've been talking about for a while. They're toyetic. The nature of being toyetic is obviously, like, your Star Wars is a great example. Every single design in at least the prequel trilogy, the very first question they asked is, can we make a toy of this? If not, go back, make me a toy, then come back and I'm going to put that in the movie. That's how that worked. Nothing in there. Nothing in the Phantom Menace was created without going through the toy department first. This may not have been true for the original trilogy, but it was absolutely the case for the prequel trilogy. All right? And there's an awful lot of other things. Like, the nature of something being toyetic is that its designs are chosen or influenced deeply by the ability to turn them into plastic things to sell to I didn't say kids. Things to sell, plastic things to sell. And what is interesting about this game compared to every other like AAA, shooter with some of these vibes, in general, that has come out in the last fucking 15 years, is that it doesn't feel like you could make a toy out of anything other than Drinkable Cheeseburger. That's the only thing. And when Drinkable Cheeseburger appeared, everybody started going shit nuts, going like, oh, yeah, I need it. But that's the only thing in the whole fucking game that feels like they could make an object out. Because what are they gonna do? What are they gonna fucking do? What they're gonna make a toy version of the fucking overrun AR? I don't want that. Nobody wants that. And it's not a game for kids, right? So it's not like Fortnite where God, I go to the thrift stores, I look at the toy section, it's just hell to breakfast. Every third object is a Fortnite gun. They're all so ugly. But like nobody wants any of this shit. This isn't happening, right? No, it's nothing. Except for Drinkable Cheeseburger, right? But yeah, the entire He-Man universe, that the famous fucking Colgo, you're right. It's not like Apex Legends itself is not necessarily toyetic, but I'll get back to that. I'll finish explaining my broader theory here in a moment. Yeah, the He-Man universe is that incredible story. I'm gonna get the link and see if I can drop it in chat here. It's one of my favorite fucking videos. We can't watch it. We'll probably get popped. I think for a documentary. But He-Man, Battle Cat, the Battle Cat creation story. Yeah, this is one of my favorite videos in the history of fucking YouTube. Please click on this link, everybody, and watch it later. It's just brilliant. And it's just this guy talking about how he designed the Battle Cat figure by just going like, well, we need a mount, but it can't just be we're out of money. We don't have money to make new molds. What do we already have? And just sniped something out of another toy line, and just made it work. And just the way he tells the story, breathtaking. Okay. Anyway, yeah, Transformers was, I don't remember Bandai? I don't remember the company. Anyway, whoever did Transformers took two failed toy lines and kit bashed them together and then made a multimedia franchise to promote it and wrote lore around it. That's how that happened. Anyway, so when I say toyetic, that used to be literal, and I'm misapplying the term here, but it's because I choose it as a thought experiment of sorts. The way that I think about this is I was playing. I don't remember what I was playing. I was playing some fucking online game. Was it? I think it was Arc Raiders where I first had this thought, because I went in and I looked at my gun. And it had a name with like a company and a model number, and there was a page where I could go and read like the history of this company and the like how the gun was developed. And I was looking at that and thinking, okay, so there's a plush worm because the silkworms play a really big. God, I wish I could just. All right, I'm gonna do this. And I want everybody who does not want to be spoiled to look away. I'm giving you 10 seconds to look away, because I'm about to show you the sixth unlock, the sixth agent that you unlock in the game. And it is a huge reveal. But for those of you who are not going to play the game, I just want you to understand what we're talking about here. You can see them down there in the lower left, all right? And so that's where this is going. So anyway, we'll just go ahead and leave that page. So, anyway, yes, there are toys for this game. There are already toys. I already want to buy all of them, and I know I'm going to be at least $500 invested into this thing, before it's over. No question. I'm buying a lot of pieces of plastic about this game. Probably many other things. Probably a book. Some comics. Like, I'm ready, all right? Fuck me up, all right? I am ready. Because this is not the 50th thing of this sort that I've been like this about. This is like the first. No one has ever gotten me this hard before, right? I want to know. I want to know what's going on. And a lot of the reason that I want to know what's going on is because the game does not care that I want to know what's going on and is absolutely refusing to explain things that are immediate pressing questions. A lot of other games are, and this is the toyeticism that I'm talking about. There's been a lot of different ways of describing this, but basically, I think of it as, why do people buy toys? What is the purpose of buying a plastic figure? Well, when you're 9, you want your parents to buy you He-Man because you want to put the plastic sword in his hand and pick him up and physically use him to hit the, I don't know, dinosaur, whatever it is. I don't know what, I've never watched He-Man. I don't know what he did. Probably never hits anything with the sword. Anyway, you want to have little battles with your little guys, but after you either have that interrectum in your teens where you're too cool for that, or you don't, and just keep doing it, as an adult, chances are you're not doing that. You're probably not doing that. You're buying these things because you want a deeper connection to this piece of media that affected you. And, I don't know if they ever made merch for Apex, right? I don't know if they made merch for any of these fucking games. Like, the hero shooter, right, is fucking Overwatch. You gotta be able to buy a figurine of any character in that game, surely, right? I'm sure of it. But that's not exactly what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is making the design of a game's world rich in a way that makes people want to fall in love with it, get obsessed with it, want to live in that world, in a way that would, as Roast Beef from Akewood would put it, cause you to piss all your ducats straight into their wallet. You're maybe not buying toys, but you are buying season passes and you are continuing to play their game and promote their game, right? Now, you could say this is just marketing. You could say this is just making your product popular. But what I'm saying is the things that make a product toyetic are, well, it's complicated, right? It's an art, not a science, I think. It is something where the main men and women in the field who make these decisions, they know how to look at a character and say, I see what you have there. That's neat. And the little car you made for him is also neat. But look at this. If we sweep his hair over like this and make his eyes just 1% bigger, that is going to drive a lot more sales because an enormous number of people are going to look at that and feel more connected to that character. They're going to feel a warmth and a desirable personality that they want to have in their life. And for the car, make the wheels a little bigger. Put more aggressive treads on them. Put a roll bar on the top. These are just, it gives it texture in a way. The it factor. Yeah, Riz. Right. And exactly. Totems, idols, little divine figures. Listen to the way that people talk about the characters they choose in Overwatch. And to a lesser extent, the characters they chose in Apex, who I think people were less in love with, but still, people did get a little, at least a little attached to them. And then, of course, for shit like WoW, they may not be named characters, but they are very, people fall in love with them, okay? Companies like Blizzard are incredibly good at making toyetic games. And yes, I think Blizzard does sell a fuckload of actual toys, but beyond that, they make characters, they give you a spread of characters that you can play as, one of which will grab you, make you identify with them, and want to have representations of them. As a furry, I am a little insulated against this, though certainly some of the biggest fucking toy buyers I know are also furries. Because, hey, even though you know about the propaganda, doesn't mean you can't choose to lean into it, right? But, the point is that, like, I am very familiar with the desire to have a picture of something around that I can look at that I have chosen to identify with. So I can look at that thing and go, yeah, the way that thing makes me feel, the way that little guy makes me feel when I think about him being me feels great. Because it's an exaggeration of qualities that I either want to see in myself or do see in myself and appreciate. And so I think that a larger version of toyeticism is the creation of things that people will fall in love with. And so, yeah, you've got not just your characters, but your objects. I have known people who played 1 billion hours of Destiny 2, and they got art of their furry characters holding their preferred gun from the game. That gun, which, it's a set of numbers, right? In practical terms, in mechanical terms, it is this much damage, this much accuracy. And every game has guns. You look at the thing, you're just like, okay, it's a rifle. But to them, something about that, maybe they were just very good with it. Maybe that's the weapon they chose to play with primarily. They main whatever fucking rifle this is. And over time, they start to identify as the motherfucker who will kill you dead with that rifle, right? And they slowly fall in love with it. And they want depictions of it. And they want to buy upgrades to it. And they want to buy cosmetics with the season pass and so on and so forth. It may not be a character. And you may not be able to buy a toy of it, but it is just as toyetic as He-Man and G.I. Joe and anything else you can name. It's that way that it gets inside you and makes you just identify with, the way you felt when you were doing that. And this game doesn't have any of that. Not one bit, other than drinkable cheeseburger. I cannot think a single part of this game that I would like to see in physical form or that I feel connected to, other than the worms, right? Which I don't even get to be. Well, not so far. Yeah. Oh, cool guy. Yeah, absolutely. I think that I believe I have 100% outlined why we buy toys. 100%. It is the desire to, fantasize, certainly, but also just the way that they grab you, the way they make you feel when something has the vibe that you want. You interact with them and you feel a little bit like you're in another world. And like you're the character that you imagine being in that world, and so on and so forth. I think that's all there is to it. It's all it ever was for anyone, right? But it's also why toys are so universal. It's why we don't outgrow them, and it's why there are so many targeted at adults, is because it is not about play in the literal sense nearly so much as it is about, how to put this, surrounding yourself with a story. Because I think I'm going to be very generous here in a way that as a creator, as a person who can write, as a person who, you'll never see this, but I have written fiction that I've never finished or published, but I have a very strong imagination, and I am extremely proud of the things that I have thought of, mostly fantasy stuff, sci-fi stuff, natch. But as a person who can do that, who can take a blank page and write something on it from scratch that will compel you, and trust me, if I ever share my work, you'll see what I mean. I can write a compelling story, at least a premise that you've never heard of before. This is not a rare skill. Like, writers do this. You could find millions and millions of people in this world who, like, given a compelling reason to and a good prompt, will spin you the outline of a story that you have never thought of before. The capacity of human imagination to create utterly new scenarios is limitless. And that is one of the things that makes me love humanity so much and hate AI so much. But let's not talk about that. We are enough. We are incredible creatures. We can do what should be impossible. And not all of us have unlocked that ability, but I have, and I'm very proud of it, even if I don't necessarily use it as much as many people do. Even if I'm not necessarily that good at it. Who knows? I've never really tried. But the point is, as someone who can do that, I have a built-in prejudice against the idea of getting absorbed in a media property without adding anything to it yourself. And it is very easy to blanket people into that category, to go like, oh, there's all these Star Wars fans out there who are, fucking never stop talking about the, just the stuff that's in canon. It is easy to look at them and go like, you're not creating anything. So I'm sorry, I'm built different. We're in different categories. Bud, is the nicest way I can put it. But the reality of it is probably different. And in my better moments, I am able to recognize that what is much more likely is that everyone who is doing that has a million stories in their head, but they either have not honed the ability to, have not honed the skill of turning that, of picking apart the fleeting images that flit through your mind of, what if Han Solo did this? What if that happened? And grabbing onto that and riding that wave and seeing where your imagination takes you, let alone actually writing it down. Either they have not honed that ability or they're embarrassed by it, which is unfortunately a very common thing, because it is so common for people to not know anyone who is interested in hearing about your original ideas. It is so common to get mocked for having an imagination and for doing, the action figure thing of, well, I had this idea about what if these two characters met and here's how it would go. You see, I mock it instinctively, right? But I also write those stories in my head, and I'm very proud of them. I talked about some of them during the Dark Souls stream when I was talking about Halo. It's mortifying to be known in that way. It's very strange. Like, why? Why are we like this? Why are we so embarrassed about our imaginations? I don't know. But it is universal. It is everyone. If you have ideas in your head, probably, most likely, you don't have anyone who will just sit there and listen to them, and either listen raptly or contribute, go, oh, well, then what if this happened? What if this happened? What if that happened? And it's a sad thing, but most people don't have that, right? And I have a number of people in my life who will do that with me, and I still, for the most part, have never shared most of the thoughts that I've had. But that doesn't mean they're not there. And so when we talk about the concept of toys and about play, the most obvious example, that comes to mind is you're 9 years old and you've got your X-Wing and, but you don't need to pick the toy up and make the sound with your mouth to be playing. That's not necessary. It is enough to look at it and let it stir something in your imagination. It is enough to have a thought that you would not have otherwise had. It is enough to feel a sense of satisfaction from looking at it and feeling this inexplicable feeling that, boy, this spaceship that I have here, what a way to shape something. The idea that someone would shape it like that, or that it would need to be shaped like that, is gripping. It's compelling. It's why I'm fascinated with industrial design. There is not a whole lot of difference between the design of plastic panels on a Dell PowerEdge Pentium model, Pentium MMX model, and the design of an X-Wing, right? They're a mix of practical necessity, hypothetical made-up practical necessity in the case of the spaceship, but nonetheless, the designers of it still said, well, it's got to have wings, right? There's the practical necessity, and then there's the aesthetics, and then the whole thing is informed by a whole bunch of decisions. And you don't know the designer. You don't know what they were thinking or what they were intending, or if they even gave the thing much thought. There are stories of how the X-Wing was designed. I've read bits and pieces. I don't remember them, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that somewhere, a person, some human being, somewhere, was compelled to make this thing, and they have connected with you. They have put their thoughts into your mind. And you wouldn't have had those thoughts otherwise. Otherwise, you'd be them, right? And the best part is that somewhere along the line, they didn't get the whole idea out. It's inevitable. No creator has ever put down on paper what they were actually thinking. The guy who drew the X-Wing drew it and then frowned and was like, that's not quite right, but let's keep going. And just kept iterating, and whatever he ended up with, I promise you, he wasn't satisfied with. But of course, 2 cakes, right? I keep having to tell people the 2 cakes parable, which is often misinterpreted. The 2 cakes comic is the whole, the baker are standing there, you've put your cake down on the buffet, and you look to your right, and there's another cake, and you think, oh, it's so much fancier, they did so much better than me, my cake is terrible. And then some rando shows up and goes, oh, hey, 2 cakes. Great. And this gets widely misinterpreted, in my opinion. I don't know if the creator of that comic had this interpretation in mind, but in my opinion, the parable is not the audience are Philistines that don't appreciate anything you make, so you shouldn't try. What it really means is that the audience is not looking for the same things you are. When you create something, you are trying to communicate an idea. When you create something that's purely, creative, fiction, art, etc., you're trying to communicate an idea or a feeling. But I don't think it's any different than making a cake. If I bake a cake, and if I'm like really serious about it, I'm going to be sitting there thinking about texture. I'm going to be sitting there thinking about, flavor. How much vanilla am I going to put in this? If I'm enough of a baker that I'm not just using a box cake, then I'm going to be thinking real hard about every decision I make. And it's not that the person at the party eating your cake isn't going to appreciate the fact that you went and got the more expensive, cake flour, and that you used, 1 drop of rose oil in the frosting. It's just that the cake sitting next to yours that looks a lot fancier, they're going to appreciate that and yours equally for different reasons. This is the beauty of the human creature and the eternal torment of the creator. That no matter what, there's always something lost in translation from a concept to a creation. Whatever you try to make will not come out the way you imagine in your mind, because your imagination sees everything in hyper-saturated, hyper-sharp, ultra-focused terms. What comes out will always be something less than that. It will always be less focused. It will always be less saturated. It will always be a little blurrier. But it's okay, because you're the only person who cares about that. Nobody else can see what you had in your head. So they're not going to see what didn't come out. They're not going to see the parts that failed to make it onto the page. And as much as you're convinced that every single little bit of it was as vital as every other, one, that's not true. Most of the message will probably get through with only a small portion of your intent executed faithfully. But secondly, the fact that you fail to produce exactly what you had in mind may enhance the final product in ways that you cannot understand, because you're not that other person. And so there is a beauty in embracing the idea that you cannot succeed in expressing yourself perfectly. You cannot succeed in getting the idea out of your head exactly as you see it and the filter of your inefficiency and imprecision of your hands and your eyes is going to add something that you couldn't have added yourself on purpose, and embracing that is what's going on with artists who musicians who still work with analog equipment, for instance. The people like LCD Sound System and oh shit, I can't remember their name. I can't remember offhand, but there are a number of artists who do just fantastic work in electronic music, and you find out that they use analog synthesizers in this day and age. And I don't need to be told about analog synthesizers. I own several. I know what I'm talking about. They are not, they're not monstrously harder to use than a fucking DAW. However, DAWs are perfect. And there is, a growing contingent of artists who want to use imperfect tools because it sometimes gets summed up as, analog warmth or, adding like an organic nature to something. But I think that's almost disingenuous. I think it's an admission that you are not capable, or perhaps you don't think you're capable, of manipulating the instruments that you do understand how to use in an accepted and artificial sounding way, which is maybe self-deprecating, but a person who's on the what is it, the XKCD strip about being stuck in a box with 10,000 pictures of somebody eating a sandwich, when you're trapped in that room with yourself for long enough with pardon me, hello Hackaday, welcome. When you're trapped in a room with yourself and the DAW for long enough, and the notes all start to sound the same, you start thinking to yourself, what if I went for a middle C and it wavered a bit and there was nothing I could do about it? Oh, of course, in theory, on paper, you would want the middle C to be a middle C every single time, perfectly right down the center, 440 hertz. But the idea of deliberately ceding control, of allowing the perfection to slip and be replaced by something not so precise, and accepting that no one, at worst, no one else cares or will notice, but at best, that will add something that you could not have done by wobbling the mod, the mod wheel on your synth, is I think a form of what I'm looking for here, letting go of perfection, right? That I think every artist ideally should do at some point, because we are, everybody has said there's no such, everybody who's ever written about creativity has said there's no such thing as perfect, but it starts to sound trite, right? Until I think you process that in terms of, yes, you are going to try to achieve perfection, but you need to accept that you need to accept not just that you aren't going to achieve it, but that it's good that you don't. Did I say 440? I'm sorry. I think I fucked that up. Sorry. Leave me alone. I don't know music that well. I know synths. I don't know music that well. I thought that was middle C. Leave me the fuck alone. Anyway, sorry. Anyway, so going back to the larger topic. I have to eat dinner soon. Going back to the larger topic, though. I think it is fascinating that Bungie has created a game which is not toyetic after making a whole series that was. Halo and Destiny are both deeply toyetic. I mean, Master fucking Chief. I mean, the fucking Warthog. I mean, the fucking every single object in Halo is toyetic. And boy, howdy, they made toys of it all. And then they did Destiny, which is a little bit of a different vibe as far as that goes. But absolutely, everybody wanted toys of everything in that game. And at a minimum, they all fell in love with the things in that game. But then they do this, and there's just nothing to get your claws into. You can't fall in love with these characters. I don't think it's possible. They're nothing. And indeed, somebody pointed this out earlier, and I've been meaning to go back to it for an hour. Assassin, Recon, Vandal, Destroyer. A year ago, these characters had names. They took them away. And I love that. I love that they're generic. Yeah, they're generic until they aren't, right? The point, though, is that they gave them names and then they took them away. And I would love to have been a fly on the wall for that discussion, because there's a lot of possible ways it could have gone. But in my mind, what I picture is the slow realization that, no, we don't want to do this. We have done this before. We have seen other people do this. We have seen them fail because of the Blorko shit. And okay. Sorry, I've just been delivered dinner, so I have to stop very soon here. Anyway, I think that in addition to just the practical realities of the possibility of okay, I'm sorry, I will admit, I did latch on to Rook immediately based on the fact that he has a name and, to me, an extremely intense, personality. Just looking at him, I have opinions about who Rook is. Which character do you think I identify with, by the way? No, I don't think it's creative genius. That's my point. That's my point. I think that they deliberately torpedoed that part of this game so that it would not impose a story on the player. You see, I don't often use the word rant to describe things I do, and for a long time I was very mad when people would apply that to me, but there are a few things where I will admit I rant, all right? And one of them, and I think a rant is frequently something that you keep going off about, the same thing every time. And in this case, I hate silent protagonists. I detest them. I think they are awful. I think they are largely pointless. I think they are counterproductive, and I think the things people say about them are attempts to retroactively justify a bad idea. If I am playing a first-person shooter, or if I am playing a third-person, action exploration game, etc., I want my character to talk like a normal human being. I want them to have a strong personality. The only exceptions to this I've ever allowed are in games that have a strong campaign to them. There's stuff where it just wouldn't make any sense. But Half-Life 1 and it's Half-Life 1 mostly. I think it sucks in Half-Life 2. Now, I've gone off about this many, many times. But having said that, there's a quote from Tim Rogers. He says, whenever you hear somebody say, having said that, you should lick your lips. Having said that, the claimed advantage, which I do not believe in, is that the silent protagonist allows you to insert yourself. I believe this does not work. I believe this does not happen. When I play a game with a silent protagonist, what I am seeing, what I am hearing, what I'm experiencing is a book where every third paragraph is a big blank spot. But it's a big blank spot with contoured edges where you can tell that the author wrote the character's response and then deliberately deleted it. You cannot write a story the way that we do in modern games like Half-Life 2, for instance, where the protagonist does not speak. He spoke. You just deleted the text. He did speak. Gordon is talking to everybody in Half-Life 2. They just deleted his lines. The result is extremely awkward. The dialogue in that game is stilted and fucked up. I hate it. I feel the same way about virtually every other game with a silent protagonist. No, they do not make me more immersed. They just sound broken and half-ass. But here, it works because when I am playing a fucking live service game where my character is dying over and over and over, I don't want them to be someone I'm in love with. I don't want them to be somebody else. It's me this is happening to. And this game is fascinating because it is the only example of the type where there is a diegetic explanation for why that would work. Because the idea is that I can imagine me being on a ship in orbit connecting to this thing, remoting in and piloting it. And so the thing itself, the shell, it's called a shell, right? That illustrates the idea that it has no personality. The way it looks is not important. The actual person is up in space. You never see them. And so I can identify with this game a lot better because I see it as a diegetic representation of what I'm actually doing. I am steering an automaton. The fact that it doesn't exist doesn't change anything. This is an Ender's Game scenario, right? If these were actual shells on an actual planet 1,000 light years away doing these things, would it be any different? It's me sitting in front of a monitor steering it, right? It'd be VR, but you get what I'm saying, right? And yes, exactly, Trinidad, when you're playing like, your Apex or your, Overwatch or whatever, and you keep hearing the same fucking lines over and over, it wears thin real fast. And now, one thing that's a little unfortunate about this game is that it does have voice lines. I have not looked into whether I can just turn those the fuck off, but I actually hate them. The thing is, though, they're extremely generic. It's literally just each character has a voice, which will say, like, objective here. It's as simple as that. And, okay, well, if you're playing with people who don't have VoIP, if you're not on Discord, which, like, it does happen, I've heard, people pub in these games, apparently. If you're pubbing and you don't have a way to talk to someone, they need to tell, if you ping something, the audio cue is very helpful. So there has to be something there. And it's ironic to me that the only voice in the game I actually like is Rook, who is incapable of ever partying with anybody. And again, I am actually going to give them credit here because I am so blown away by this game. I'm going to say I could believe that was a deliberate decision. That they did, in fact, decide, we're going to give the one character who can't ever be in a party the personality that would make him resonate in a party. Because they've just blown me away with everything else about the game so much. I've gotten tricked in so many ways that I'm open to that idea. The idea that they're actually being that like 12th dimensional chess. One moment, I'm taking a bite of this fish. I'm muting my mic. Huge news. That was fucking delicious. Yeah, so, Dark Rose, absolutely. I'm okay with the idea of a character, like, acting like they're talking. I'm okay with a character who responds to others by acting like they're talking, but there is no audible voice and there is no text shown on screen, but you can infer from the response what was said. That's fine. It's cute. I like it. Also, once in a while, you get a character who talks entirely through gestures. I also love that. That's my review. It's let's see, it's Night Rain. Night Rain, I think it is, has a character. I think it's a jar. I think it's a living jar, I want to say, that communicates through holding up little signs with pictograms on them. One moment. Just inhaled some spit. I'll be fine. Give me a second. Dying. Well, that's probably the end of the stream because I just inhaled a whole bunch of spit. I'm fine, but whew, there we go. That's better. I do need to eat dinner, so I'm gonna go ahead and take off. But holy hell, this was a good stream. Thanks everybody. This is probably in our last marathon stream because I'm obsessed with this game. So I'll see you. I'll see you in the near enough future. And I have absolutely no idea what the next video will be. By the way, just for the record, no fucking idea. Anyway, thank you all for joining, and I hope you enjoy Marathon. Have a good night, everybody.